mentioned a bit earlier on, we've had a pretty big story breaking in Germany, that's putting it lightly, which is that Bayern Munich have announced that Thomas Tuchel will be leaving at the end of this current season. We know that they have been struggling of late, lost 3 competitive games in a row, 8 points off Bayer Leverkusen in the Bundesliga and 1-0 down to Lazio in their Champions League last 16 tie with a return leg to come. Let's speak to Florian Plettenberg from Sky Germany and get a little bit more on this. Florian, you've been reporting that Xabi Alonso is Bayern Munich's top target. How interested do you think he would be in the job at the Allianz Arena?
Well, honestly, I think Xabi Alonso is very interested to take over as a new Bayern coach. But we have to be honest, it's a very, very difficult situation for all parties involved. Right now, it's clear Thomas Tuchel will leave FC Bayern at the latest at the end of this season. And now Bayern Munich has the possibility to speak with other candidates, and it's a typical Bayern Munich move to put Bayern 04 Leverkusen a little bit in danger right now, because you have explained it, they are 8 points behind in the German Bundesliga, and Bayern Munich, they want to put the pressure on Leverkusen now. Well, first of all, we hear it clearly and to 100% that Xabi Alonso is very focused on winning the possible treble with Bayern 04 Leverkusen. He's not motivated to speak about Bayern Munich. He's not motivated to speak about Bayern Munich in the background. He's really, really focused on Leverkusen. And we really have to say that it's not 100% clear that Xabi Alonso will say yes to FC Bayern. And all the Bayern bosses, they are informed about the difficulty of this possible transfer from Xabi Alonso to Bayern Munich. But my understanding and my information is that at this stage, Xabi Alonso is more willing to join Bayern Munich instead of joining FC Liverpool. And this is also news I can give you. Bayern Munich, this is our clear exclusive news and information. They have already inquired about Xabi Alonso, but we also have heard that FC Liverpool have also inquired about Xabi Alonso in the last couple of days and weeks.
And this is it, isn't it? When you put all this together, Jurgen Klopp's departure at the end of the season means that there are 2 managerial vacancies that he could fill either one of those. I mean, such a dilemma for Xabi Alonso, but, you know, amazing to be in his position right now. Just how tough is it going to be to take the decision, not just for the present, but for the future and what he can build at either of these 2 clubs, Liverpool or Bayern?
Well, I think, and as I said, I can really imagine that Xabi Alonso will stay in the Bundesliga, because we hear that he feels very comfortable in Germany, very comfortable in the Bundesliga, and he's very familiar here in the Bundesliga. And to be honest, and this is my personal opinion, I think that Liverpool, if you look at all the other top clubs, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, all the top clubs there which are looking for a new coach in the next season, I think it's very, very difficult for FC Liverpool to find the right coach after this big and successful era of Jurgen Klopp, because I think it's very easy to lose as a new coach of the Reds. And if you compare this situation to FC Bayern right now, you can win a lot, because there's a totally different situation in summer, and Bayern Munich will appoint Max Eberl on Monday to the new sporting boss, to the new transfer boss. And Max Eberl and Christoph Freund, the new sporting director, they are now in charge to find the right coach. And the absolutely plan A is Xabi Alonso, but they have also a plan B and a plan C. And before I forget that, this is my information before we have spoken now. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, that was my exclusive news a few days ago. In the case that Thomas Tuchel would leave FC Bayern in the next 1 or 2 or 3 weeks, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the former Manchester United coach and legend, is one of the interim solution candidates for FC Bayern.
Very interesting. It would be absolutely fascinating to see how Ole Gunnar would fare over there in Munich. I guess the other question is there a potential that Xabi Alonso could stay at Leverkusen?
This is absolutely possible because he has a long-term contract, and I can only repeat what the bosses say in the public. and in the background, they are totally convinced that Xabi Alonso will stay for one more season at Bayern 04 Leverkusen. If this is realizable, honestly, I have no information, because now there are new cards on the table. It's a completely open poker game. And yeah, we have also reported about the fact today that Hansi Flick, Julian Nagelsmann, Jürgen Klopp, we know he wants to make a break for one more or for 1 year, and Thomas Tuchel, all these 4 top coaches from Germany, they are all on the market. So a very, very crazy summer transfer window regarding the coaches ahead. And we have not spoken about the crazy thing that Pini Zahavi is in charge for a new club for Thomas Tuchel and for Hansi Flick. So yeah, it's absolutely possible that Xabi Alonso will stay for one more season, but honestly, I don't think so.
Yeah, absolutely crazy, as you say. And there are other managers around, like Jose Mourinho, for example, Antonio Conte, that are also looking for jobs. And incredible, isn't it, Florian? You've got Bayern Munich, you've got Liverpool, and you've also got Barcelona all saying mid-season that their coaches won't be there beyond the end of the season. It's such a unique situation. And I guess with Bayern, I mean, 3 competitive defeats in a row hasn't happened for a long time. Was it inevitable that Thomas Tuchel simply had to go, even though it is at the end of the season?
Once again, please, could you give me your question once again?
Sure. Was it inevitable that Tuchel would have to go, because 3 defeats in a row, Bundesliga and Champions League, that just doesn't happen to Bayern Munich, does it? It's been such a long time.
Well, it's a very difficult situation for FC Bayern, and you have to be honest, all the people in charge, all the people involved, they have all made mistakes. Bayern Munich is playing a very, very bad football at this moment. And we have spoken a lot about Harry Kane. For sure, he scores and he scores and he scores. But to be honest, he's not 100% integrated in the Bayern Munich game. And we have a lot of players who are unsatisfied with the situation, but now the team is in the focus. And I have spoken to a lot of players in the background, and they all say that Thomas Tuchel is a very, very good coach. For sure, if you go for Thomas Tuchel, you know which character he has. He has a very, very, very specific character, but now the team is in duty, and not Thomas Tuchel, not the bosses, but you said it, 3 defeats in a row. This is a very, very bad situation for FC Bayern, and if you lose 3 times in a row, it's a big, big crisis here in Germany. And to my personal opinion, I don't think, and I can really not imagine that Bayern Munich will win a title this year. And you also have to be honest, they don't have to deserve a title like the championship, because Bayern 04 Leverkusen, they play amazing football. So we cannot exclude that Thomas Tuchel will definitely stay until the end of the season. This is why Bayern Munich is preparing a plan B of a kind of an interim solution in the background. And if they will fulfill their plan, that Thomas Tuchel will stay until the end of the season, and they don't have a chance with Thomas Tuchel, then Zinedine Zidane is definitely an option, because they have already discussed about Zinedine Zidane internally.
Florian, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much indeed.
Okay, for today's pod, we're joined by Rafa Honigstein. Rafa, Thomas Tuchel looking to step down as Bayern Munich manager at the end of the season. Tell us a bit more as to what went wrong under this current tenure at Bayern Munich.
Well, things were off to a bad start, really, because he took over halfway through last season. Didn't have a pre-season, didn't really have the kind of team that he wanted. Bayern struggled. Bayern got knocked out in the Cup, they got knocked out in the Champions League. They threw away the title only to have it thrown back at them. And somehow by default winning it. And in the second season, things were stable, more or less. Results were decent, footballing wise, not that entertaining, but it was okay. But everything kind of fell apart in the last couple of weeks, starting with that defeat at Leverkusen, and then of course the defeat against Lazio and a third defeat against Bochum. and team looking completely devoid of any sense of confidence and direction. And I think what the board have tried to do now by bringing that decision forward, if you will, is to say, okay, you can no longer hide behind the fact that you don't like the coach or whatever. He is leaving, so it's down to you now to perform, to stop the speculation after every single game. Is he staying? Is he leaving? And to change a little bit of the momentum and maybe freeing Tuchel up to be a bit more relaxed and hands-off in his approach towards the team. I think it's an interesting theory, if you will. The problem is if they lose on Saturday, you can take all those deliberations and put them in the bin, because the speculation will start again, and I think the board will have to do something at that point.
Yeah, I mean, we spoke about Tuchel not too long ago, actually. Feels like Groundhog Day. And you were saying, felt like the writing was on the wall for Thomas Tuchel. But interestingly, for the game against Lazio in Rome, I know you look very great, and in your polo neck going out to Rome, you were quite optimistic that Bayern Munich were going to do something there. You didn't see that as a game that Bayern Munich were going to lose. What do you think went wrong for Bayern Munich in that match? And is this a build-up of the lack of confidence that we've seen so far in the last few games under Tuchel?
Yeah, I mean, you see a combination of individual mistakes at the back. You see the team really struggling to break down opponents. That's been a feature of the season. They played some quite reactive football at times, inviting teams forward and hitting them on the break, and that looked good to a point, even though it ran counter really to Bayern's footballing DNA to a certain extent. But then when teams give you the ball and say, okay, now you break us down, then they really struggled. And that's where I think Tuchel's safety first approach came a little bit unstuck, because it felt at times that the players were not doing what they feel is the right thing to do, but doing what they feel needs to be done because the guy outside otherwise goes crazy on the touchline. And kind of second guessing yourself, playing the safe ball, not committing man forward in possession. These kind of things in the end added up to a team losing its identity and losing its direction, and things kind of fell apart quite quickly to an extent that wasn't quite foreseeable. But at the same time, people close to the dressing room had been saying to me and others, this is gonna explode at one point. This is not gonna end well. I guess I should have been less optimistic.
You're a football fan after all, Raf. But you talk about the dressing room, you talk about the toxicity there. Why keep him on then? If it's so untenable, why don't you just let him go and find someone in the interim till the end of the season, so you can regroup and go get the man you might really want? And I want to talk about that a bit later on as well.
So I don't think it's it's the case that everyone in the dressing room absolutely hates him. I don't think it's gone to that point. But there are some key players who I think felt undermined. Their performances have become worse, and they're quite happy to see him go. I think it's safe to say. Is it enough for the board to say, look, we have to get anyone else in, even if it's the kit man? It doesn't matter because people cannot stand Tuchel anymore. I don't think we've reached that point. That's why, in the absence of an obvious caretaker manager, a ready-made in-house solution where they know he's going to make everyone feel good, people like him, players respond to him, they don't have this kind of guy. So they said, okay, a dressing room that's not happy with Tuchel still should have enough professionalism, enough intrinsic motivation to say, you know what, it doesn't really matter what this guy says, let's just play our game and let's just do this. But of course, it relies to a certain extent on Tuchel letting them do that and maybe becoming slightly more hands-off in his approach over the next few weeks, knowing that he's going. Maybe he will double down. Maybe he'll say, you know what, I've got nothing to lose. I'm going to be even stricter. I'm going to put this guy on the bench and that guy on the bench. We will find out on Saturday. But basically, it's a decision maiden hope that positive change can come from it, in the absence of any other obvious better ideas at this point.
I mean, Bayern released a statement today. Could you tell us a little bit more about that, and also what you particularly made of that statement?
Well, the statement stressed that this was a sort of a mutual decision. These things are never really mutual, but they played on the fact that they had talked about this and kind of both agreed that this was the way forward. And I think this does reflect Tuchel's realization that the position or the situation was probably untenable beyond the summer as well. I don't think he believed that it's going to be a happy third season there next year, the way things are going. And Jan Christian Dresen, the CEO, has expressly made the point that he feels now it's down to the team to take responsibility and to show a reaction. Everyone knows what's happening. The cards are on the table. And that's it. But the problem with that is, as we said, the cards are never quite on the table, because if the next 2 or 3 results go south, and they've got Lazio coming up in what will then certainly be the last remaining important game of the season, they will move mountains and lakes in Bavaria to find a better fit. So this is just a holding pattern, if you will, hoping that they can somehow muddle through until the summer.
Yeah, I wanted to touch on the idea of the players as well. I mean, look, it's twofold, right? You've got a manager that might have lost the dressing room, but you've also got a bunch of very experienced players there who some might say might have lost the hunger. Is it just solely down to the coach, or are Bayern Munich just used to winning? I mean,
yeah, I'm sure there's an element of that. It's hard to quantify how important that is. If you've won 11 in a row, maybe the 12th season, you think, okay, let's take it easy. Maybe subconsciously you lose a few percentage points. That doesn't explain, though, how that kind of lifeless, energyless, insecure performance also carried over into the Champions League, where there is no such issue. Everyone wants to win. Everyone understands that Lazio is a game that Bayern have to win because they have ambitions to go deep into the competition. And then you see the same kind of lifeless, energyless, bloodless, insecure performance that you saw in the league a few days before at Leverkusen. So there might be an element of that, but knowing how much pressure there is in Bayern to perform, and what kind of noise and what kind of repercussions you have when Bayern, God forbid, are only the second best team in Germany, I'm not sure the players would consciously make a decision or sort of just feel, okay, we can get away with it this year, we're just going to take it easy, because they cannot in Munich. And you see the drama and you see the incessant headlines. So maybe deep down there's a factor, and maybe the team needs to have more change. That was Tuchel's main idea in the summer, and the board were resistant to that change. So maybe in a way he was right, but ultimately you have to make do with what you have and bring out the best of your players. And it's not really your job then to turn around and say, look, I told you that these guys are useless to begin with, so here's, pay me 6 million euros for that. So it's a combination of things. I don't think he's the sole culprit, if you will. Transfer market dealings went wrong in the summer. Not sure they went that right in the winter either. They have tons of injuries. Is that his fault? Is that the fitness department? Is it the player's fault? I can't tell you, but ultimately he's responsible for the results.
Yeah, well, he will be leaving at the end of the season. You talk about change. Xabi Alonso, you made a very good sort of, appeal last time we spoke for him.
You'll ever have it at a club like Bayern. The lifestyle in Munich is great. The weather is much better than Liverpool. You have mountains, you have lakes, very good food.
Oktoberfest, if you want it.
If you want it. But of course, Bayern will be in a fight, a three-way fight with Leverkusen and with Liverpool, who have a huge appeal for very obvious reasons. I think what Bayern can do for Alonso is to a certain extent guarantee titles early on, and I think it'll make it easier for him in his future career to have that experience under his belt. Just to finish up that thought, he will kind of have that guarantee of being a winner going into his next job. He might already win, of course, in Leverkusen this year. But I think it leaves his options open. If he goes to Liverpool now, that probably means he can't go to another Premier League club. It probably means he will be there for foreseeable time, which is no bad thing at all. But I think it probably closes a few doors, whereas Bayern is maybe a more transient thing. You do it 2-3 years, then you move on. You become a more rounded coach. That's certainly, I think, the pitch that Bayern will present. Whether he's amenable to that, I don't know.
Yeah, I look at this sort of jigsaw and how it fits in for Xabi Alonso. Of course, it says a lot about his coaching prowess that you've got two big powerhouses that are in need of a coach. But what if he decides to stay at Leverkusen? He hasn't been there that long. Takes them into the Champions League, wants to explore that. Then you've still got these two teams who haven't got a top coach. And then what do Bayern then do then? You know, they stay another year and then wait for him to finally be ready. I mean, there's still a lot of moving parts here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's hard to predict which way this is going to go. Bayern will try. Bayern will make him the number one target. We reported that in the Athletic a few days ago. That's no surprise. I think the fact that Tuchel's future, his long-term future at least, is sorted, makes it easier for Bayern to go out there quite aggressively and say, look, you know that he's leaving. Everyone knows that he's leaving. We need to make some moves ahead of the summer. Come do this with us. Come on board. What does it take for you to come? If Xabi doesn't work out, then I think Bayern a little bit stuck, because don't think there's a ready-made B option there that they fully believe in. They want a specific kind of football, which rules out the likes of Conte and Jose. They want ideally somebody who speaks German, has some German experience, which is a huge bonus for Xabi. So they will really scramble if it doesn't work out. And I read today's announcement as also an announcement to the rest of the world, if you will, that everyone knows Tuchel is leaving, and now we can put the wheels in motion to find a successor quite quickly.
Yeah, very quickly. What then happens to Thomas Tuchel? What next, do you think? A step away from management? I mean, Chelsea was a tricky one. Bayern Munich now a tricky one.
No, I think he'll continue to coach. I think he'll still have a great demand, great reputation for what he's done, specifically at Chelsea, but even PSG and Dortmund were successful. Bayern less so, but could still finish with one or two trophies. He won the league last year, not convincingly, but still, it is a league win, and I think he'll bide his time. And there are big moves afoot in European football this summer, and I wouldn't be surprised if Thomas Tuchel ends up at another big club very soon.
Yeah, for sure. Huge CV, Champions League winner as well, let's not forget. All right, Rafa, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, let's move on, because joining us now is the Athletic's Nick Miller. Nick, you've written a piece about the big decision facing Xabi Alonso. He's kind of got a great choice, choosing between Liverpool and Bayern Munich. Let's break this down, because I said to Rafa Honigstein just now, you know, those two jobs depend on whether he's actually available for those jobs. But hypothetically, give me the argument. Bayern or Liverpool for Alonso?
Yes, I mean it's incredible for someone who's only in their second full season as a top level coach. It's an incredible position for someone to be in. I almost don't envy him, which is it's very sort of smallest violin in the world territory. Oh no, I've got the choice between two of the biggest clubs in the world. What a dreadful position to be in. But yeah, it's an absolutely fascinating choice. I mean, he's obviously got a degree of emotional history with both, having played for both clubs. You probably say slightly more with Liverpool, given that he was there longer, and the successes there were possibly slightly more unexpected. He's also got the choice between two brilliant squads. I mean, you could argue the toss between this for all day, but I would say probably Liverpool have got the better individual quality in players. Both teams are obviously kind of willing to spend money if he needs certain players, and if he wants to buy certain players to fit his style of play. And so then it comes down, I suppose it then comes down to things like what would the expectation be at both clubs. And again, you've got a couple of competing forces there. At Bayern, he wouldn't be given as much time probably as he would be at Liverpool. There is, as Thomas Tuchel is finding out, anything other than winning the Bundesliga, that's the sort of base level. If you don't do that, then you're out. But on the other hand, at Liverpool, he is replacing their most sort of transformational manager since Shankly, probably the most popular manager since probably Dalglish. So obviously, absolutely colossal shoes to fill in that respect. So yeah, I mean, it's there was also the kind of the nature of the challenge which he has to weigh up at both clubs. With Bayern, obviously he is by definition removing the biggest threat to his new job, which is himself, really. By leaving Leverkusen to take over Bayern, he is. I mean, Bayern would be favourites for the Bundesliga every season if I was in charge, but particularly if you have the guy who, as looks like at the moment, is going to be the first guy to kind of topple them since 2012. So in that respect, it's maybe slightly less of a challenge. Whereas at Liverpool, he has the kind of looming presence of Manchester City and Arsenal doing really well. So it's going to be in theory a much more competitive domestic league as well. And then you kind of get down to things like lifestyle. He's obviously lived in both cities before. His family apparently enjoyed it in both cities. So I mean, I haven't really given you a definitive answer to which is the better job here, but it's every aspect, I think, of this and every decision that he has to make about what his next choice is, if we're assuming that he does go to one of these clubs and he doesn't, as would probably be ideal from a sort of development point of view, he doesn't stay at Leverkusen for another year. These are two, not just because of the stature of the two clubs, these are two incredibly attractive and very, in terms of which one's ahead of the other, very even jobs that he has to choose from.
Yeah, I really thought about that point you made in terms of being given a bit more time to do the job. And I guess you do have, even though the level of opposition's much more stronger in the Premier League, you do get people like Mourinho to a certain degree, Guardiola to a certain degree, being given time to get their philosophy across. And you'd like to think that template might suit him, but then what about the ownership of both clubs? They're very, very different. And then you've got this sort of, American arm to Liverpool. And yeah, I mean, what do we think of the ownership in that respect?
Yeah, I suppose that's the other thing that I didn't mention there, is that perhaps one of the sort of ticks in the cons column for Liverpool is that as things stand, he doesn't know who he would be working directly under. They don't have a sporting director yet. I think from the sounds of things, in an ideal world, Liverpool would want to appoint a new sporting director, or someone with a roughly equivalent job title, before they choose who their manager is. But this announcement, this confirmation seemingly that Tuchel is definitely leaving Bayern at the end of the season, which I think was probably everyone could assume it was going to happen anyway, but that this will have quickened or this will have made it more urgent that for Liverpool to kind of tie him down if he is the man they really want. But by doing that, they are asking Alonso to join a club where he doesn't really know what the structure of the hierarchy will be. We're not sure necessarily about a couple of the people in the Liverpool hierarchy who would whether they want to kind of carry on in their current roles for much longer. So while the Bayern structure is, as you say, a little more chaotic, at least he probably knows who he's going to be working with in the immediate future anyway.
One thing I pointed out at the top is the permutation that he actually does stay at Leverkusen. I put it to Raf Honigstein earlier in thinking that what's to stop him from just getting a bit more experience at Leverkusen? What is looking like an extraordinary season so far? Why doesn't he take it to the next level with this Leverkusen team? See how far they do in the Champions League, for instance, next season, which then, yet again, opens up this merry-go-round of, who then coaches Bayern Munich, who then coaches, Liverpool as well.
Yeah, it's, I suppose, one way, if we're kind of assuming that the Leverkusen are going to win the Bundesliga, and we have been here before in, assuming that someone else is going to win the German title. I think we're, even those of us who aren't Dortmund fans were scarred by the last day of last season. So let's assume that Leverkusen win the league. What might enter his thinking is that he can't realistically really do better than that. It's probably going to he can't probably top that. These kind of almost sort of semi-miracle seasons where clubs that you don't expect to win the league, generally speaking, they kind of tail off the following season. So something that he might factor in is that his stock is never going to be higher than it is now. And if he wins the Bundesliga this season, but then finishes, 6th, 7th, or whatever it is next season, then he might be not quite as attractive a candidate for Liverpool or Bayern or Real Madrid or whoever, one of these other kind of super clubs that he's previously played for that might want to hire him. So that might kind of factor into his thinking. But I think probably in an as I kind of said, in an ideal world, this is a guy who has been phenomenally successful so far. You would want a little bit more sort of evidence, or not evidence is probably the wrong word, but that you would want a little bit more kind of experience, I suppose. Maybe he'd be kind of slightly spooked by the Andre Villas-Boas example, where he won everything at Porto in I think it was also his second season as a sort of senior coach of a first team. He was very young. I think he was younger than Alonso. I'm sure certainly he was younger than Alonso is now. He then went to a massive club with massive expectations and was sacked by the end of the season, I think. So I don't. That would be kind of how it would enter into my way of thinking, but that is one of a number of reasons why I am not a kind of elite sports person or manager, because their brains work very differently to the rest of us. So that may not factor into his thinking at all. But it's a possible consideration.
One thing that struck me, and we were just talking about it before you jumped on the pod today, was that actually there is a wider managerial merry-go-round over the summer, really. We've mentioned Liverpool, obviously Bayern. Barcelona in there. I mean, the Euros are also going to be having a cycle of managers who've sort of taken their teams to, you know, the last tenure really, or the last dance, I should say. I mean, this opens up quite a lot of options potentially for a coach that is in high demand.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you know, at this stage of his career, Alonso presumably you would think wouldn't want a kind of international job, so that would kind of rule that out. I think, you know, Barcelona would be. I don't know whether they could count it as an ex-Real Madrid player being their manager, but they would be silly not to kind of investigate it at least. But yeah, it's going to be pretty. It could be pretty chaotic. Possibly the England job will be available depending on you know, Gareth Southgate's mood and what happens in the summer. The Germany job's going to be available. You know, that there's going to be a kind of. There's going to be one big nation that completely flames out in the summer, and you know, that job might be available. Who knows? Maybe France implode or something like that, and Deschamps decides that he's, you know, however long he's been there is enough. So it's a kind of bad bad summer for Jurgen Klopp to have decided that he needs some time away, because if he was leaving Liverpool and was ready to kind of go straight into his next job, he'd have the pick of quite a few. He could have the Germany job. He could, I mean, you know, if he wanted the Bayern job, he could have the Bayern job, and you know, maybe Barcelona as well. But yeah, hopefully for his sake, he kind of, you know, spends the year drinking drinks with little umbrellas in them rather than diving straight back into it. But yeah, if he wanted to, he's got plenty of options as well.
That's the part of the managerial merry-go-round you definitely would adhere to, drinking drinks with umbrellas. I like that. You're like me. You're like me. Very quickly before we finish, I just want to touch on Harry Kane as we're talking about Bayern Munich, as we're talking about German football. I mean, outstanding season at Bayern Munich at this moment in time. Can we just give a little high five to Harry Kane for the resilience he's maybe been able to show? 6 different managers in 18 months or so. It's absolutely quite phenomenal what he's doing.
Yeah, he seems, I mean, he's going through a little bit of a slump in form at the moment, but he's still on track to break kind of Bundesliga scoring records that, you know, were only set a couple of seasons ago and we thought would stand for years. But he just seems kind of impervious to sort of outside influences almost. You know, he just seems to be able to play at these absurd levels. It doesn't really matter who his manager is, doesn't really matter what kind of team is around him, doesn't really matter how chaotic the situation is around him. Maybe there is a sort of steeliness to his personality and mentality that helps that. Maybe it kind of helps that in terms of the sort of purely on pitch stuff, he is basically 2 players in one. He is this kind of number 9 and he's the number 10 when he feels like it. So maybe that's a factor in how he's able to play, and not just play, but play brilliantly independent of outside factors. But yeah, it being dropped into this kind of, even though moving to Bayern, the assumption was, well, okay, he's moving to a club where he's going to kind of guaranteed league title. It's still an incredibly high-pressured environment. It's still, as we kind of discussed often, quite a chaotic environment. But he's still scoring all these goals. So, yeah, it's been quite sort of heartening to see it. That, you know, you always like to, from a very English perspective, you always like to see English players going somewhere else and you know, being as good as they were over here. And he's, as I said, beyond the last few weeks where he's hit a bit of a dip in form, he's absolutely done that, I believe.
Fantastic, Nick. Thanks so much for joining us, and also a quick thank you to Raphael Honigstein as well, who had to drop off earlier on. Don't forget to rate and review the podcast, and we'll be back for another episode tomorrow. Appreciate you listening.
If you like this video, click subscribe for more content like this. We'll be joined by the likes of David Ornstein, Matt Slater, Adam Crafton, Carl Anker, and plenty more through the season to bring you the inside track to the biggest stories in football. If you'd like to listen to the full episodes for free, search the Athletic Football Podcast wherever you get your podcasts from.
What next for Bayern? As you can see, our chief reporter, Kaveh Solokol, is alongside me. So, Kaveh, who will Bayern be targeting for this sporting realignment, as they call it?
Well, their number one choice to take over from Thomas Tuchel in the summer is the Bayer Leverkusen head coach, Xabi Alonso. Now, of course, he is a man in demand because he's doing such a fabulous job at Leverkusen. He took over when they were near the relegation zone. Now I think they're something like 8 points clear at the top of the Bundesliga. They're on course to win a treble this season. Now, as far as Alonso is concerned, he's got a contract for, I think, another 2.5 years at Leverkusen. And last week, their sporting director, Simon Rolfes, said that he was confident that Alonso would stay at Leverkusen. But I've just got a feeling that he has a gentleman's agreement that if a club like Bayern Munich, like Liverpool, like Real Madrid come along, then I don't think Leverkusen would stand in his way. And what's very interesting this afternoon is that Sky Germany are reporting that there's already been contact between Bayern Munich and Alonso's representatives. But I think in the short term, Alonso is just focusing on Leverkusen. He wants to make sure that they end the season well. Who knows, maybe win the German title for the first time ever.
Tell you what, to have suitors like Bayern, Liverpool, Real Madrid, you know you're doing a good job. And let's just put this in context with this man here. Bayern have dominated German football. Yeah, the last decade, they've been the team, top of the Bundesliga at the end of the season. So if Alonso pulls this off with that 8-point lead, as you say, then it is a significant achievement. So Liverpool certainly in the mix for Alonso's services. He's already received some serious backing from Jurgen Klopp, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think last week Jurgen Klopp said that if you were talking in general terms about the sort of up-and-coming young managers, then Xabi Alonso, he said, is the standout. He is the one who is really making waves in European football. And it's no secret that he is very close to the top, if not the top candidate to take over from Klopp himself at Liverpool. Liverpool are going through a very sort of detailed recruitment process, analysing everything, looking at all the data. But pretty much everyone in football thinks that once they've analysed the data, they're going to come up with Xabi Alonso as their preferred target to take over from Jurgen Klopp in the summer. What's interesting, of course, is it all going to be down to Xabi Alonso to decide where he goes next? Or will he even decide to stay at Leverkusen? If he wins the title, if he wins the treble at Leverkusen, might he think, look, I'm building something here, it's too early in my career to take the next step? Or will he think, I had great times at Liverpool, I won the Champions League, I think my son is a Liverpool supporter, I loved living there, I consider myself to be a Liverpool supporter as well, that's the club for me? Or will he think, no, I'm going to go to Bayern Munich, I used to play for them as well, won lots of trophies there. Will it be down to him? Will it just be an emotional decision for him to say, I want to go to Liverpool, I want to go to Bayern Munich, or I'm going to stay at Leverkusen? Or will I wait for the Real Madrid job to become available sometime in the future?
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Because Ancelotti renewed. I mean, there was links with him in the Brazil national team job, but that didn't end up sort of panning out that way. It could have been 3 actual suitors needing to fill a vacancy, but not right now. But my goodness, I'd imagine staying at Leverkusen is probably the longest of the odds in terms of the options available to him. You mentioned Jurgen Klopp. What about him? I mean, is there any chance, Kyle, that he could end up at Bayern next season?
I think it's impossible, and that is coming from his own representative. His own agent was speaking today, and he said to our colleagues at Sky Germany, look, Jurgen Klopp will not be managing anyone for at least 12 months. He's made up his mind. Once he leaves Liverpool, he needs a break for at least a year. So rule out him moving to Bayern Munich. But I think it's going to be very, very interesting this summer because so many jobs are available And so many big-name managers are out there looking for work as well. I'm thinking of the Barcelona job, the Bayern Munich job, the Liverpool job. And then you look at the managers who are out there, people like Jose Mourinho, Antonio Conte, Thomas Tuchel as well. So it could be a very, very interesting summer when it comes to the managerial merry-go-round.
Yeah.
Garnacho, and it's in! Manchester United have made a dream start at Kenilworth Road.
It's Pedro Neto. And put in again by João Gomes. It's back to the drawing board for Ange Postecoglou.
Adingra! What a lovely finish from Simon Adingra. Oh, the new African champion, having the time of his young life right now.
Threaded forwards to Watkins, who's in the clear here. Ollie Watkins, 2-0 to Aston Villa. A thumping finish from a player whose season is getting better and better.
The race for Europe is lit right now. Aston Villa, Tottenham, Man United, Brighton, Newcastle also still in the conversation. What do we think?
I think, Newcastle, I'm not sure about, but certainly Manchester United and the way that they're going about their business at the minute, they just look like, I wouldn't say unstoppable, but they're getting results. It's going to be difficult, but Spurs at the minute, I know they had the result against Wolves, but I still think under Ange Postecoglou playing the football that they play, they give themselves a great opportunity.
Were you two giggling because I said the word lit?
Yeah.
It's litty, lituation. Come on, man. The problem is Manchester United there, because they are on a roll at the moment. They're coming in like a freight train right now.
Yeah, but I watched them against Luton, and I thought, before the game, I thought, oh, this could be a draw. I think Man United might struggle. And then the 2 early goals going in, I'm thinking, it's all gone upside down, what I was thinking. But then as the game went on, United just seemed to get deeper and deeper now. For a team with Man United and, say, the players they have in that team, I don't feel like they should, and this is no disrespect to Luton, because I think they're playing really, really well, shouldn't go to Luton and have to sit back and be dictated by Luton. Bearing in mind, Man United spend how much million on their players? They should be more front foot approached, I think personally, and I think a lot of Man United fans would think the same. They should have gone there and tried to get at Luton, because especially when they're 2-0, because that's when I think Luton were at their most vulnerable. The more they got comfortable, they just started dictating the game. Ross Barkley controlled that game and basically did whatever he wanted. Chong was amazing. They all played really well. Now, they were unfortunate not to get a result in that game.
Kenilworth Road has been a tough place to go this season, though.
It has for everybody. Luton, no, not Luton, Liverpool, Arsenal.
Whoa.
Man City struggled there. Everybody struggled there, but I mean, the teams that have struggled there, especially in those European places, have actually gone there trying to win, not gone there and sat back and played on the counter-attack.
Jules?
Yeah, it's a good point. Although they could have scored maybe 2 or 3 more in that second half on the counter. They were very wasteful in front of goal. I think United are in a position right now where they're not playing great. They still have injuries, and Maguire got injured, Shaw got injured again yesterday. They take the points. That's all that matters to them. We saw them in the table. We didn't pay too much attention about goal difference. Their goal difference is +1. This is outrageous for a team like Manchester United, with the talent that they have going forward, to only be +1 at this stage of the season. And they're way behind Spurs and Villa, so that's an extra point for them to climb back up if they want 5th place. That could potentially take you into Champions League next season, or 4th place certainly will go there.
Do you know what might help them, Manchester United, is the fact that Aston Villa have got Europe to contend with, and we know Unai Emery is a specialist, but they've got to worry about that. Sure. Spurs haven't got the European football, so they obviously full steam ahead. So that might be Brighton, who's in and around them. They've got European football as well. So that might help them, because other teams are looking at other areas of the season. But I still think, as Jules was saying, the football that they play and the goal difference is a big thing. Because you look at Rashford, Haaland, Garnacho, Anthony, they've got players on that pitch that should be doing better. And I know Haaland at the minute's flying, but he's the only one. He's the only one. Other than that,
And Scott McTominay with those late winners.
yeah, I mean, it's Scott McTominay with them guys. He's been good this season coming off the bench, but I mean, if you're relying on Scott McTominay to come on and save the day, that tells you exactly where you are, and that's no disrespect to him. But we're talking about Manchester United Football Club.
Agreed.
Rasmus Højlund has done really well, though he is quite literally on a roll.
Yeah, and I think people were maybe a bit harsh. I know English people don't watch too much European football, which I can understand, and especially not Atalanta or Sturmgrass, his former two clubs. But he's a kid, really, who this move was far too early in his own professional career in terms of experience, maturity, rhythm, just all pressure, tabloid, anything you want, media, again, Darren Bent, radio show, all of that. So he was always going to need time. If he'd maybe played 2 more seasons in Italy, for example, and scoring season after season, I think he would have arrived a bit like Haaland did at City. Instead, people started comparing with Haaland when he just arrived after 6 months in Italy playing at a good level. Then he arrived injured. His team was very dysfunctional and still is quite dysfunctional. So it was always going to take him time. But as you both know, especially you, Benty, when you start scoring 1, then the momentum, the confidence take you and the others follow. And the best example maybe is that second goal. That is a pure number 9. Let's try to get out something from Garnacho, and he chests it and he goes in, because right now everything goes his way as well.
I just think the way he's played in general is for me has been superb. Even when he comes that early and Man United are that dysfunctional, I think if you look at all these aspects of his game which he was putting into play and not receiving the ball when he was in the right areas, his hold-up play, how much he runs for that club as if so he understands the cult of being a Manchester United player. He's leading by example up there for me, and he's wearing the shirt how it's meant to be worn. If things ain't going his way, he still runs over 110% to try and make things happen for the team and for himself. So for me, it was inevitable that his goals would come at some point.
United won, Villa won, Brighton won. The only, I think, one who didn't in that race was Spurs, so not the greatest weekend for them.
No, but they've always got a funny kind of record against Wolves. I mean, for whatever reason, Wolves seem to always cause them problems. And I think when you look at the way Wolves play with that counter-attacking football and the way Spurs play under Ange Postecoglou, which is everyone flying forward, you're going to get caught out. And I mean, Neto was outstanding against Spurs, but it's a blip. I think the way that he plays Ange Postecoglou, you're going to get results like this. They'll win some, of course, and they play free-flowing football, but they're also vulnerable on their counter-attack, and they'll lose games. But I think if you ask Spurs fans, they still would rather watch the football they're watching now and have a go trying to get into the top 4 than under Conte and Mourinho, because they just won't happen.
Yeah, I have to agree with Benny there. I think the only thing Ange has to worry about is that people, it seems like coaches and teams are now starting to figure out where the spaces are for Spurs, and if they can do emulate what Wolves did, Spurs are going to have this problem all the time, because as good as Van der Ven is and as quick as he is, he can't be everywhere at any given time, and he isn't going to be able to stop everything. And the Spurs keeper, Vicario, he makes, 5 saves nearly every game. It shouldn't be the case. So at some point, I think Ange may have to take a step back and say, we don't all have to be that high all the time, and at least leave a bit of protection.
Do you know what, there might be the problem with that, is that he's come out and publicly said, I think it was before the City game, he came out and said, this is the way that we play, and we're going to win games, we'll lose games, but this is our identity. And I think that might come back to bite him, because as Sean said there, you can't play like that every single game against every single team, because eventually they'll work you out.
Yeah, exactly, they're going to find you out.
Yeah, are there not points, certain sections of the game, it's always split, where they could, I don't know, be a little bit more conservative? It's not the whole game, he doesn't then have to...
Do you know the weirdest thing is they have players in there to be conservative as well, because they have the likes of Basuma, they have Sarr, they have that protection, but they're not there for that purpose.
Everybody go.
Go for it.
Everybody go. All right, the way they are situated now on the table, do we reckon it's going to finish like that, or who do you think is going to get into the top 4/5?
I think Villa have a good chance, even with the Europa Conference League that they're still in, and even with Kamara's ACL, which was it's a big blow for them because he had been outstanding. But I think Tielemans can help out with Douglas Luiz. I think Villa have a good chance to finish in the top 4. And then 5th place, the momentum looks for United. Spurs have won 2 in 6 now in competition. They're really struggling a little bit. So I don't know. I would want to see a few more twists and have that kind of excitement that we will have for the title race.
Yeah, Ollie Watkins there, the destroyer-in-chief on the weekend, as he has been pretty much all season. We've got a graphic just to show you guys some of the numbers, just his goal contributions. Second only to Mo Salah.
For me, the way he's played this year, without a shadow of doubt, should, for me personally, be in the England squad. I think what he's brought to Villa, we talk about him last year where everybody says he needs to score more goals. Unai's come in, he's kept him pretty much over the 90 minutes in between one side of the D and the other side of the D. So he's still getting to make his runs a little bit out wide, but not wide enough so he still can't get back involved in the game if the ball's recycled. But his finishes on the weekend alone tells you that's a finisher in nothing but confidence, because with his first one, he took his time, he checked the defender, let it roll across his body, so composed, bottom corner, and that the pass that he gets in behind where he drags him out and then goes in behind him. I feel like a non-confident striker would have taken another touch to get a little bit closer. He saw the opportunity from the outside of the box, and the strike on it was perfect. I think he's flying right now.
Much as the game has progressed, confidence is still the big thing when it comes to goal scorers, isn't it? Seeing Rasmus Højlund now, Ollie Watkins throughout the season as well. Confidence is the word that Sean Phillips used over and over, and he is a player who is high on confidence at the moment.
Yeah, he is. I mean, I think one of the biggest things when Unai Emery came in was let Dan Ings go to West Ham. So that almost said to Ollie Watkins, you're my centre forward and I want you to score goals. And he's been fantastic. He's repaid him, he scores goals, the unwilling runs, the assists as well. And I'm right, I think he's got a great chance of getting that playing for England. Whether I think he will, I'm not sure. I still think he's in a race with Ivan Toney, who's come back, Dominic Solanke, who's come through the pathway. We know Gareth like strikers that have come through the system. But all he can keep doing in this situation is scoring goals, playing well, Villa do well, and leave the rest to Gareth Southgate, because he's doing everything that's been asked of him.
So what's crazy is that the weekend where Haaland didn't score, despite the chances, every single other number 9 in the Premier League pretty much scored. Solanke scored, Watkins scored, Tony scored, Muno scored, Darwin scored, Awoniyi scored. All those traditional number 9 scored, apart from the best one of all of them, who missed the chances.
He's human after all.
Exactly.
Just saw the signs of it there. Aston Villa, I think, one of the standouts of the season, one of the surprises of the season, obviously, and they are in 4th place. And you reckon they're going to stay there?
I think so. I mean, they lost the last 2 games before the win at the weekend at Fulham in the cup, in the FA Cup, and then in the league against United, where they played well. And maybe they were a little bit unlucky to lose 2-1. I think again they will also drop points, but they will, like Sean has said, they will cause problems to teams that come to Villa Park, especially where they've been outstanding. So they have a much better goal difference than United, as we've said already, better than Spurs still. If Watkins stays in that kind of form, when Pau Torres comes back to full fitness at the back, because with them, with him, their win percentage is 78%. Without him, it's like 14%. So there's clearly a team with Torres, and without Torres, if he can stay fit until the end of the season, with him and Watkins up front, I think they could be good.
Brighton also in the conversation. What do we think about the top 6? Who do you guys think are going to finish in their places?
I think they've got a chance. I mean, they have to improve their form when it comes to European Premier League, because if you look at their results after European games, not great. I don't think they've won any after a European game. So if they can kind of sort that situation out, they'll have a great season. Again, it comes down to squad depth. If they lose 1 or 2 injuries, they could be struggling.
I'm a massive fan of Brighton. I love watching them. The young kids that it brings through, is the way they play. I think they win with a great shout.
Yeah. OK, well, that is the battle for Europe that we've just been talking about. We've still got to go a little bit further down the table, because with 13 games left, there's no room to breathe at the bottom of the Premier League. After the break, we look at the weekend's results in the relegation battle.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca.
Napoli against Barcelona. So many subplots going into this game, certainly pertaining to both of the coaches. We know that Xavi will be leaving at the end of the season. Meanwhile, Mazzari's gone. Calzona is coming in for this tie. Gap, this is quite a dramatic turn, isn't it, ahead of such a big game?
Everything's dramatic. It's not dramatic that Walter Mazzari, the master of disaster, is gone. It was a terrible appointment. He's not a good manager. He was totally wrong for this team. And I'm surprised he stuck around as long as he did. But to go and get rid of him sort of in the 48 hours before such a huge game against Barcelona, where despite the fact that you're 9th in the league, you have a legit shot. Barcelona obviously are wounded, they have injuries, that they've got their own issues to contend with. To do it in that position, and then to bring in this guy who, I think genuinely most people really had never heard. He'd never even been on their radar until suddenly he just appears in Slovakia, mainly because he's friends with former Napoli legend Marek Hamsik, who he coached with his time in Naples. And Hamsik said, hey, we just fired our coach. Why don't you come in and see if you can get us to the Euros? And these days, because, as Craig would point out, everybody seems to qualify for the Euros, Slovakia get a couple wins under their belt, big win against Iceland, and boom, they're in the Euros. And all of a sudden, this guy's back on people's radar, and Napoli will share him with Slovakia between now and the Euros, which seems absolutely surreal to me. But, you know, he knows the club, he knows the city, he knows a lot of the players from his time with Sarri. I would expect they're going to say, hey, can you just wind back the clock to the Spalletti era? Because let's not forget, guys, this is the same team as last year, with the exception of Min Jae Kim, who, of course, went to Bayern, and Zielinski, who's not in the Champions League squad because of one of those stupid decisions that Aurelio De Laurentiis, the president, likes to make. He's a free agent in June. He hasn't extended his contract, so he says, fine then, well, I'm not going to put you in the Champions League squad, so you don't get to play against Barcelona. Other than that, it's the same crew as last year, plus the new signings.
Solskjaer was available.
There you go.
Well, he got linked with,
with Bayern Munich yesterday.
Bayern, yeah. And a little shout for interim Bayern job. It floated about yesterday.
Yeah, there we go.
Could have jumped. Listen, I don't know how many times over the last 10, 15 years you could say this is a pretty good time to play Barcelona.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I know Napoli are clearly having their own issues, both on and off the field. But let me tell you, we cover La Liga every week, and they are the most fragile of fragile. They have been defensively so poor this year. In the midfield, they have been all over the place. And up front, occasionally it clicks. Occasionally. They are nothing to fear. Barcelona, that is. Absolutely nothing to fear. And it would not surprise me if Napoli could at least take a lead back to the Montjuic. But it depends how Napoli view this game and how they can get at this Barca side, because almost every team in La Liga, you know, Villarreal go there, score 5. Granada, second bottom, go there, score 3. This team are vulnerable, and if Napoli can get at them, we'll see that vulnerability again.
Mediocre, and when I say mediocre, I mean mediocre teams offensively in La Liga, right, have scored against Barcelona. Craig just mentioned a couple, but we can go down the list, and the list is heavy.
Yeah.
Anybody who plays against Barcelona will have opportunities to score, and more than likely will score goals. Now it's just a statement of fact. It's not even an opinion. It's you just look at how they play defensively. They're going to make mistakes. If you have any sort of talent going forward, just a glimmer of hope going forward, there will be chances for you. Napoli has more than that going forward. I imagine that Napoli looks at the back line and the defensive structure of Barcelona, if you want to call it structure or lack thereof. We can attack this team. I don't care how terrible we have been. They're worse. Defensively, they are worse.
So having said that, you're predicting then Napoli to go through? Let's take a look at the predictions.
Absolutely not.
Let's take a look.
Absolutely not.
After that, let's talk about how vulnerable Barcelona are at the back. Going for a draw at Barcelona. Everyone's going for a draw.
Yeah.
And Barcelona to a pass.
Yeah, well, you know, can't trust any of them. Expect.
Okay, can you hear me? Hello. Can you hear me? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Good whatever time it might be in your location. If you are in the building, you can say hi. You can join us. Have fun. 9 minutes to go until the game between Liverpool and Luton Town. Okay? And then 30 minutes after that, it's gonna be the Champions League. So the games that you can see: Porto against Arsenal, Napoli against Barcelona, 3:00 p.m. Eastern Time. So I'll be here if you want me to be, but provided you with call, the link and all that. Thank you for stopping by if you are in the building. And that's what we got right now. All right, some games are happening, right? Oh, finished already. Maccabi Tel Aviv from Israel, right? Genk from Belgium, 1-1, Europa Conference League. And yeah, that's about it. That's what we got right now. So let's go ahead and try to find the lineups for today. So let me try to switch something on the screen. And try to go on Twitter. Fresh load here. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. Let's try to get on Twitter. Uh-oh. Why is asking me to review my phone? I can't review my phone. Yeah, let's just put it that way. All right. All right, people. So this is my page here on Twitter, Green Turf. If you want to follow your brother to keep up with some good stuff, you can do it. But right now, let's now focus a little bit on the Premier League. Let me just give you very quickly the lineup for the Premier League, right? Let me crop this a little bit. Boom, boom, boom. So the Premier League, let me start by Luton Town, Kamiski, Ogbene, Mengi, Osho, Bell, Duty, Lokonga, Barkley, Chong, Woodrow, and Morris. I don't see Adebayo, the guy, the brother from Nigeria. He's not even on the bench. I didn't double check. Probably he's injured or something, or suspended or something. But I like to see him play because he's handful. And I like bullies. You know, number 9 who can bully in the box. All right, for Liverpool, lineup: Kelleher in goal, Gomes, Endo, Van Dijk, Diaz, McAllister, Gakpo, Elliott, Gravenberch, Kwanzaa, and Bradley. They don't have Salah. They don't have Diaz. Oh, Diaz is there. They don't have, what's his name again? Oh, Alisson, I meant. They don't have... I heard that Salah got a knock. So probably they are protecting him for Sunday against Chelsea. But Jota is definitely out of the final. Alisson Becker is out of the final. Who else? I think Nunes still 50-50. Trent Alexander-Arnold definitely out. But they put Bradley the other day, and then they beat Chelsea 4. So it doesn't matter who's going to play. A final is a final. And Chelsea also got a long list of injuries. So I don't really care about it. So there you have it. The game is going to start in like 4 minutes. So let me jump very quickly and remind you the Champions League lineups. Let's go to the Champions League. Bam. So Champions League lineups. Reminding you what's going to happen. Porto against Arsenal. Arsenal are beating people for fun at the moment. They can't score less than 3 goals. Napoli against Barcelona, 2 struggling teams. Very interesting to see what is going to happen. Let me scroll down a little bit if I can see the lineups. How the hell they don't put the lineup here on the UEFA official page? This is a disgrace, man. Disgrace. Let me go to Arsenal because that one is what people are more interested in. Arsenal. The elephant still on top of the tree. What the hell? North FC, alright. So Arsenal, I think this guy, what is his name? Okay, Raya in goal, Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel, Kiwior, Rice, Havertz, Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli, Trossard. On the bench, Ramsdale, Hen, I never heard of him. Must be a kid from the academy. Cedric, Heaven, wow, Sweet, Vieira, Elneny, Jorginho Frelo, Nelson, Kwaneri, that is the young kid, 16 years old, Smith-Rowe, and Eddie Nketiah. Very strong here. They just want to get the job done in the first leg, it looks like. Arsenal, you can say whatever you want. They're going to collapse. They're going to do the Arsenal thing. But this time around, it's different. This time around, the crisis started November, December last year. And I was telling people this is the most dangerous season ever because we know that they're going to collapse around February, March. That's where the crisis starts. But this time, it started too early for them to say, you know what, we're going to Dubai, we're going to eat some steak, get some sun, recharge, and then we're going to go again. Now, you see what I was saying. When they collapse early, you have to be careful. So that's the way it is. You wanted to say something, Mr. People?
Yeah, good evening. How are you?
I'm good.
How's the weather?
Weather is getting better. It's still cold, but cold with the sun outside. So it feels good for a little while until you start getting, cold and you are like, what is my jacket again? But it's still good. I went to the wood with a t-shirt. Wow. But I put my jacket in the car because when I go hiking, I park the car, take the dog out, let's go. And I needed to come back a little early because it was getting cold.
But do you have to, when you go in the woods, do you have to put the dog with a leash or you just let him run?
I like to give him a little bit of freedom sometimes. I can take the leash off or I can, if there are people, depend on how many people I meet there in the trail. If I'm by myself, well, it's a good dog though. If you don't attack me, he's not gonna do anything crazy to you.
It's a good friend to have a dog. Very, very, very loyal, unlike some Chelsea fans. And so, what are we going to talk about? Tuchel, Chelsea,
whatever you want to discuss.
Okay, I'm going to start there. I'm going to address the elephant in the room. I was here more than one and a half years ago, and people hammered me in this live, one of the lives there, when I said, Tuchel, one of the most overrated, useless managers of all time. Your average park the bus manager who just got very, very lucky, who benefited off Frank Super Frank's work there. And look at him now. His ass has been fired. And I've just been listening to your live there before you went live. You know, they were interviewing all these journalists from the Athletic and what have you and all that. And they said the same thing. They were so Bayern plays very, very careful, super, defensive. They don't want to attack. They don't want to play in a counter attack. And when other teams don't, when they give Bayern the ball, they have no imagination, no creativity. They don't know what to do. And this is exactly what we saw at Chelsea. And people, Chelsea fans, obviously, they are living in denial. They'll come here and defend him. Oh, he's the best thing since. Somebody was asking me the other day, today actually, would you take Tuchel or Jose back? I said, you know what? I'd rather keep Poch. I ask you the question. Would you take Tuchel, Jose, or would you rather keep Poch?
You know my answer if you watch my video. I'm not a fan of either. I just respect them and I don't make decisions. They did a good job for Chelsea, won you trophies, even though it's questionable how they win it, but they still win it. They were there. Credit is going to be given to them no matter what you do. Even Di Matteo got credit from me. Even Avram Grant, after Mourinho, the interim manager, took us to the final of the Champions League, which Mourinho never done when he was at Chelsea. So people will say it was Oro coaching because it was a core of players, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, you have to choose the starting 11. And like Di Matteo, you are dealing with a lot of injuries and a lot of suspensions, and you have to come up with an idea to bring some unknown kid from the academy to start in the Champions League final. So all those little decisions, he was there, he did something, all right? He said something, so everybody that wants something, we know how they want it. And I don't blame people who adore him and think that Thomas Tuchel is God or something, because the majority of them are kids, all they know is win something without even watching the game. They will check on some highlight, you won 1-0, okay, it's masterclass, we won the trophy, they start celebrating. But if you analyze football, you understand how football works. You're going to ask some questions. And if you ask those questions, you are a hater. You hate Thomas Tuchel, you are not a true Chelsea fan, blah, 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 you're a clown, get out my club. Like you have no right to question anything. I was in the same channel here when we lost against Real Madrid, when we were winning 3-0, 10 minutes to go, and you bring Hakim Ziyech and Christian Pulisic, while Ancelotti put all his offensive players on the pitch because they have nothing to lose, and you leave Marcos Alonso, who can't even walk anymore. Usually he jogs, but he can't even jog anymore, and you let all the useless players, instead of bringing John Obi Mikel, put him in the midfield and let him fight and save you 10 minutes only to go. And you had no right to question it. Oh, I am so proud of Tommy Tuchel is the best, and oh, you can't question him. It's Mason Mount's fault. It's the players' fault. Even if it was today, with the same tactics that Pochettino been using, he changed in the last 3 games. But he can change everybody's positions. He can even put N'Golo Kante as a goalkeeper and put freaking Christensen as a number 9, and we ended up by losing. It's not going to be Thomas Tuchel's fault. It's going to be Mason Mount's fault. But the same freaking stupid actions for another manager, get him out, he doesn't know what he's doing. So it's just telling you that people just care about instant success. If you want something and then you are God, that's it.
But even when they have success with that boring, unwatchable, anti-football. So what then once they got the success, that's when they realize and wake up, this is unwatchable. Who wants to watch this Park the Brass nonsense there? And it gets but success at what price? Do you just want success just for the sake of success, or do you actually want some kind of entertainment? Do you want to enjoy watching, or do you is it just all about success and nothing else?
Right now, it's not about enjoying. You have to understand that today's generation don't watch football anymore. If you look at the survey that was done in Spain, football is dying. The new generation, they are so distracted. They are, attention level is just less than 8 seconds. It's almost impossible to see somebody now watching TV without checking on the phone and checking on some other 10 social media accounts. So the kids now, you can't even eat dinner at the moment. In my house, you put your freaking phone outside. There is a box there that if we are talking and we are eating, nobody is going to do that. You have to dictate things a little bit and show a little bit of authority sometimes. We're going to be here for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, no phone. That's the way it's supposed to be. So anyways, so those people that you say, they don't care about this awful football. You watch it for entertainment. That is your relaxing time. You are from work, very tired, eating your popcorn and drinking your whatever. You're watching, you analyze, you enjoy the little things. But how are you going to enjoy the little thing when you watch less than 30 minutes in a 90-minute game? You don't really care. You care about people who will put you 15 seconds of some Anthony doing stupid step-overs and get dispossessed. It's something that, or a goal you just watch. Oh, wow, that was a good goal. How the goal came about, you don't even know. So it's different. I understand your thinking behind the entertainment of football, but people who don't watch, today they are the specialists. They know football better than you, better than anybody else. They're going to call you clown because you said something. They're going to pull some statistic and take a screenshot and send to you. Look at the stat. They don't understand anything about statistic. Jorginho can have 100 pass accuracy, but it was back to N'Golo Kante, right? Or back to Edouard Mendy. And he touched it one time. He didn't dribble. He didn't do anything. It was just a safe pass. Short pass, bam, bam, the ball come to him. He already knows where to pass the ball. How can you not have 100% pass accuracy? Talk to me. But you don't watch football. How are you going to know about that? You're going to just pull those stupid statistics and show people. They're going to tell you Thomas Tuchel CV at Chelsea. They pull it, won 3 trophies, lost 3 finals. 2 times in the FA Cup and 1 time for the Carabao Cup. So you see amazing record. But the details, you don't know anything about the details.
And people don't care because they just want to watch TikTok highlight reels and what have you. So as you say, you mentioned Anthony before. Anthony looked very good in TikTok. The step overs, whatever, is very spectacular. But they don't show. Oh, Liverpool just scored! Wow.
Luton just scored. What are you talking about?
Because Liverpool wears the same kind of shirt. What's his name? Obiningwe. What's his name?
Yeah, his name is impossible to pronounce.
But you see the TikTok reels there, so they will show Anthony doing this step over, and they cut it just when he's supposed to pass the ball or do something.
Yeah.
Then they cut you don't see the finish, what he does with the ball afterwards, but it leads to nothing, or he passes the ball away or something.
Exactly.
But at the moment, they just show you that spectacular, that circus act there, and then when it's the end product, it's like, we better not show that, because that will make this clip look stupid. But it led to nothing. But
you can make anything, whatever you want right now on social media. You will see. Conor Gallagher might have an amazing game. Somebody is gonna copy, cut, edit. One time that he will pass the ball backward, and you don't understand the circumstances and what he was trying to do, or to attract people to him, or just try to create some space. What people are gonna put there is, oh my goodness, I'm sick of this sideways backward. And they're gonna cut that clip and cut another different clip of showing Pochettino like getting mad on the bench. Probably that was last year, whatever time. And they pasted it together to show that even Pochettino is tired of this clown. Take him out of the team. But people like Enzo Fernandez, they can pass backward like 1,000 times. They got dispossessed I don't know how many times. They're gonna copy something that worked. One pass that worked. And that is the gospel there. Look at Enzo. Oh my goodness. We are lucky. This is a bargain. This is a bargain. 120 million, it's a bargain. So that's what people do now, and this is, for old school people like me, it's just sickening. I just ask myself, what am I doing here? Let's just go to the countryside and start, walking the dog in the wood.
But the same people,
this stupidity.
The same people making those Conor Gallagher videos, they refuse to show you the fact that in that game, whatever, he made one bad pass, that he ran maybe 14 kilometers, and the next guy closest to him maybe ran like 11 kilometers in total that game. They don't show his work
They
rate.
won't show you. They won't show you anything. The pass that worked, they won't show you. How many times he recovered the ball in the opposition box to allow us to score goal. Yes. They won't show you that. It doesn't count.
Recoveries, the tackles, the interceptions, when you hurry an opponent. So in other words, if you chase down a striker has got a space, and you chase him down, and you pressurize him, going back to what you're saying, working without the ball. So you pressurize him into making a bad pass or shooting off target or something, doing some bad decision because he's feeling the pressure coming from the midfield. Those kind of things there, which only a manager or football pundit.
Only a football person understand. Even pundits today, they know nothing. They are just there to get the money. Only technician, only people really who probably played real football a little bit in whatever Sunday league, who understand the simple principle of you can dominate the game without the ball. You explain to somebody how? Oh no, look at the percentage. They had 75% possession. Freaking hell, who cares?
Who cares? Exactly.
Who cares? It doesn't mean anything.
Look at this game you're watching here, Liverpool. Luton. Liverpool had the ball all the time, but yet Luton has scored. So that's exactly what to your point, where you're saying that possession means nothing. It all depends on what you do without the ball, and when you get the few times you get the ball, how effective are you? What are you going to do with it? Remember the days of Barcelona. Sorry to interrupt you. Remember the old days of Barcelona and Messi. They would pass the ball 600 times just to move the ball 1 meter forward, and then you think, what the hell's going on here? What is this? And That's how they used to play. It was boring as hell. People, but it's tiki-taka. It's fantastic, beautiful. No, it's not beautiful. The first time we saw it, yes, it was fantastic.
And it worked for a short period of time. But people are going to figure it out. And they're going to let you have the freaking ball. Just like Jose Mourinho. He's going to let you freaking have the ball and smash you in the semi-final of the Champions League. Eto'o playing as a wing back. So those little things, people don't understand anything. It's just the end. It's just the statistics that somebody else put together somewhere. You don't know what. And then, look at the statistic. Look at the XG told me this and that. What the freaking hell is the XG thing?
XG.
XG. You see expected goals or expected assists. Now everything is measured. It's like anticipation, whatever matrix. What is that?
It's just everything is superficial, and it's so trying to fit a narrative and using stats for. You can use stats for any argument you want to make. There's always a stat you can find somewhere.
And I love Alonso. Alonso, like if you watch the interview after the game that he smashed Thomas Tuchel, Bayern Munich, he came and he said that we dominated space. We knew we're not going to have the ball, but we dominated the space. Look at the percentage. 32% possession. He said we dominated the space. And I love it because you understand football. You understand what he meant by dominating the space without having the ball. 3-0 at the end.
And then you saw the other game that Bayern played with Bochum. So Bochum, again, another team which didn't really want the ball, but they dominated by fight. This super aggressive tackling, this super aggressive closing down. They just went old school, proper English old school way. Maybe you don't have so much talent, but if you have the heart, if you have desire, if you say today you're not going to win. We don't care. You're a better team, and we're going to bully you.
Yeah.
And this is what they did to Bayern. Bayern didn't have the stomach for it. Bayern maybe a bit, 11 years or whatever, 10 years of winning, maybe the hunger is not there. Sometimes you can get tired from winning, and motivation is hard, and especially if you've got a manager which you don't like. Obviously, it's quite apparent that half of the team doesn't like Tuchel, and if they're sort of like mentally downing their tools, as this guy, he doesn't know his best 11, he doesn't know what he's doing. His tactics are boring. We just keep on playing sideways, backwards. If you're a top player, your motivation maybe, at that level, it doesn't. You just 5%. If you go down mentally 5%, it's enough. So that's a different. Why do you think Bayern is so good or Man City is good? Because every game they perform at 100%, not 95. That 5% of one game where you underestimate the opponent, or for whatever reason you're not on your game mentally. It's what separates you from being the top club, elite club, compared to the middle of the table club. So you show up every week, not just some weeks. But so Tuchel somehow has done something to his team there, and they've gone down mentally maybe 5%, and plus add to that maybe winning fatigue. It's hard year after year to find motivation to look at Chelsea. Every time we win the league, then we go like 3 or 4 years, 5 years, whatever, before we win the league again. But in the meantime, it takes a long time. It's because you're on such a high to win that league. It takes so much out of you. It's almost impossible for Chelsea, not Man City. Man City's got different kinds of mindset, mentality. They've become a very well-oiled machine that they can. It's almost on automatic. But I saw them yesterday against Brentford United, and they struggled. They were very, very lucky. And Haaland scored for them. But you see, even a game like that where they are really, really poor, still winning. And you see like Liverpool playing here, They don't have that mentality. Maybe they don't have that routine, which Man City has. Now Liverpool's playing under pressure because they're top of the table and they have to win. Man City, they can play free because they won like 15 Scudettos already. They don't really care. So they play free, and you can see mentally it's easier for them. Unlike Liverpool, who one slip, Gerrard, one slip, then Arsenal's there or Man City's there. So that is big pressure. It's easier to play from catch up than it is to play at the top, be at the top and be in control. That is so much harder. So I just don't see Liverpool winning this. Arsenal, I'm a bit worried about Arsenal because normally this time.
Before you go to Arsenal, Liverpool also you have to. Well, I know nobody feels sorry for us, or nobody said anything, but they're also having a lot of injuries. Key injuries, like today Mo Salah is out. They have Trent, they have Szoboszlai. They still have power, but I think today they are playing this game also with an eye open for the game on Sunday against Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
They are saying themselves, if somebody else got injured today, we are screwed, definitely. The final is a final. I'm not going to definitely say we're going to smash them. I would say that because I'm a Chelsea fan. I want to see that. But deep inside, you know that a final is a final. It's about your day. It's about how much energy and how much you want it on the day. And if you have Anthony Taylor, or you play 15 against 11, many circumstances can come to play in the final. Red card, something like that. But like now, I'm not finding excuses for them. But they have a lot of key players injured.
I think this last game for Chelsea against Man City is mentally must have done fantastic for them because they went toe to toe with Man City and they should have actually won that game. So they were coming to this final with their heads high, shoulders up, and not afraid. And they won't be doing boo-boo in the underpants because they think, okay, we can go toe to toe with Man City, then Liverpool's we should have a chance. And I think if Pochettino lets Liverpool has the ball, playing the counter like with Man City, I think this will be a very interesting final. I think it'd be interesting to see how
Sterling or Jackson from
Jackson.
the left-hand side. If you have to choose one in the final.
Any day, any given day, Jackson, always Jackson. Jackson, I'll tell you who I would have. I would have Jackson on the left, Sterling on the right, and probably our friend there, our half African friend, what's his name?
Cole
Man
Palmer.
City. Cole Palmer, somewhere in the middle there. And then Jackson and Sterling sort of like crisscrossing. That's those three I'll play up there. And Mudueke
For me, it's not going to happen that way. For me, I want to see Nkunku start from the middle as a false nine. And I want Cole Palmer play from the right-hand side and Jackson from the left. That is my front three. I know it might not happen because it's Pochettino.
Nkunku is so out of form, that guy.
No, because he's not even playing. Since he came back, now he's just been replacing people.
Yeah, but you have to play not in the cup final. Come on.
No, in cup final, that guy is so good. That is the only quote-unquote false 9 or 9 that we have. It's not Jackson. The guy feels comfortable from the middle, better than Jackson. You get more.
What is your philosophy? I've been watching your channel for years. You have two philosophies. One is you always say play the freaking players in their position. Am I lying? You all say that?
Yeah.
And two, you always say choose players which are on form, not players which are out of form who haven't played for like 6 years or
But
whatever.
you know, I'm not sure that he's not in form. I just think that he's in form. It just now this time Pochettino and the medical team are trying to just be careful, okay? Bring him slowly and surely. Let's go. Let's see how it goes. But I think he's hungry. Every time he comes, you can tell. can tell that he's hungry. But because he's not scoring, and that is the assumption that he's not 100%. Everybody want to be a hero in the final. I'm telling you, in the final, you have a different mindset, different energy. I don't think we're going to see lazy people in the final. They know it.
Oh, no.
They know it. This is our time. Win this trophy is going to just give us some, momentum, morale boost.
But where you're right about Nkunku is that I noticed every time Nkunku's come on as a sub in any of the games, I noticed he gets very, very, very close attention from defenders, sometimes two of them marking. And this opens up space for the likes of Jackson, Sterling, so yes, Cole Palmer. So you got a point there that if he comes on, just even if he does nothing, at least he's drawing attention from defenders, opening up the game for his teammates. There, I'll give you flowers. But as for what else he's doing, I haven't really seen anything. I know he can do a lot more, but he's just, I don't know if he's playing a little bit scared or he's still trying to find his feet or what the hell's going on. But yeah,
he plays on Sunday. He's gonna score. I think Chelsea to win 3-1. Call me crazy if you want. Nkunku to score. Moises Caicedo with a golazo from nowhere, and then he's gonna say shh to Liverpool, like, hey, stop it. I'm not red, I'm in blue now. And the third goal might come from Cole Palmer. Who knows? So we're going to win this game. I'm very confident about it. Call me crazy, but what do you want me to do? Predict Chelsea losing? Yeah, they beat us 4-1. So what? They beat us in the last 3 finals. So what? This is our time. This is our time. Sit down.
I think the only thing you can bet or gamble on Caicedo is that he's going to get a yellow card one way or the other. That guy is timing all these tackles sometimes. You think, really? This is the highest paid transfer in the Premier League history. Sometimes I wonder. I think.
Yeah, he's clumsy sometimes, and he need to stop trying to be N'Golo Kante. You are not in that level of blind tackling. You know, N'Golo Kante, you can fold him, right? Fold him. He's playing with his eye closed, but he can still tackle. He knows where the ball is, especially from the blind side of the player. Like, you don't understand how the hell he's gonna be that quick and win cleanly that ball from blind side. But Caicedo, every time he tries, it's a foul. And it's a freaking yellow card. Don't try it if you can't, bro. You're still like 21 years old. Still time to learn. Just don't do it.
But then again, Kante, in his last season at Chelsea before he left for Saudi, his timing was off. He was getting yellow cards left, right, and center. There was something, I don't know if the injury was too much for him, but definitely he was not the same his last season there. So as much as it hurt me, the only thing I was afraid of when I knew he was going was that please don't join another Premier League club, Man United or whatever. As he went to Saudi, I was more than happy. So good, go and make your money and be happy there.
Okay, so let me say something. Porto and Arsenal just started. Few seconds already in my location. Let me even fix it on the screen. Napoli and Barcelona, they're still doing the normal pre-game antics. So it hasn't started yet. It's going to be delayed a little bit, I think. And this game here is still 1-0 to Luton Town. But I still feel like Liverpool are going to win this game. I think Luton,
From your information, because you have so much information, who are like the candidates to take over as the Barcelona manager, next manager? Who are there any candidates?
Well, everybody is throwing all kind of names there. Remember, like last week, there is a news that came out saying that Thomas Tuchel actually, it's not even a news, it's himself. He gave an interview and he was praising like Spanish players. Like some people ask him if he would like to manage one day, abroad again. And he says his appreciation to Spanish football. So people, you know how it goes. People interpret it as he wanna go to Barcelona. I don't think that kind of football from Tuchel is the Barcelona way. That is not the Barcelona way. I also heard that Hansi Flick is somebody who is appreciated a lot by Barcelona. Football is good, and he's also good with the youngsters. He can develop.
You love the guy.
So,
you love that guy.
Alonso, he was linked with Barcelona, but I think mostly for the banter, because you throw whatever name there, people are gonna say, no, he's from Real Madrid and all that is not gonna work out. But his name been thrown there. But we've seen even Luis Enrique, he played for Real Madrid and Barcelona, and he ended up by managing Barcelona. He won them the Champions League. It's not a big deal because he's not like that attached to Real Madrid. He played for Liverpool, played for Bayern Munich and Real Madrid. But I don't think Alonso is going there. The kind of football that Barcelona plays, I think Hansi Flick need to be in the conversation. Amorim, the guy from Sporting Lisbon, need to be in the conversation. There's another guy, from Girona, also been linked with them. So I don't know. It's all over the place now. We don't really know who's going to take over at Barcelona.
But they don't have. But any manager coming in, he will find that they have no money to spend for new players. So that's because they spent, they've borrowed money, they've mortgaged the future and what have you, to outbid Chelsea for all these players which we were supposed to buy. So they won't be spending any much money. They are rebuilding the stadium. That's costing quite a few pesetas. So whoever comes in there, you just have to have the squad he has now, make the best of it. And the squad they have now obviously is excellent, but don't think that you're going to go and spend 150 million on some shooting stuff in whatever league. It's not going to happen. You're talking about Tuchel. If you go to Spain, there's one with his park the bus, careful style football. He'd be perfectly suited to take over Atletico Madrid. You'd fit like a fish in water right there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, but Simeone is not going anywhere. He's like president for life. He's like a king over there, I don't think anybody is gonna touch him. It looks like the fans love him, the board love him. Like they are not bored of boring football as long as you give us results and you win some trophies here and there. I think they are happy with Simeone. Bringing somebody like Thomas Tuchel, it's going to be a nightmare because Thomas Tuchel is going to demand certain players. But Cholo Simeone, he's going to choose some players from Ecuador, from Argentina, South America. He's very good with the players from that side of the world. He's going to bring somebody you don't understand. Who is this guy? And bam, he fits his system very, very well. I know they went crazy for Felix, that they paid more than 100 million, but usually they don't really pay a lot of money. The range is like 20 million to 40 million here, and they got some solid players. For somebody like Thomas Tuchel, he's going to ask you, Harry Kane, pay 150 million. He's going to ask you his own players, and it's going to create more problems. So Thomas Tuchel,
Tuchel, didn't he? Wasn't he the one who brought in Eric Dyer? Really, if you are that manager, elite manager, you bring in Eric Dyer, who couldn't even make the Tottenham team, to Bayern Munich. What on earth are you thinking? This is you mentioned it as well when Todd Bowley took over. He made Tuchel the manager, football manager, and coach. And Tuchel had to go find these players, and you saw all the deadwood he brought into the team there.
Because he want to win now. He doesn't have time to be patient and develop anybody. He just want to force people who are physically and mentally ready so he can push. He's very pushy, that manager. The problem with pushy managers is it's only gonna last for a short period of time before everybody get tired of you. They don't wanna even hear your freaking voice anymore, and they've stopped working for you because you are just too much pushing. So that is Thomas Tuchel there, you know.
But who did you bring in? Who did you bring in at Chelsea? I've forgotten all the names. I know he brought some really Lukaku. Who else did he bring?
Marco Correa, Aubameyang, Kalidou Koulibaly, Raheem Sterling.
So he's okay. He did. You can say Sterling has been a success.
What? I don't see him as a success. The amount of money that he's getting every single weekend, what we expect from him, that is little. Nobody is gonna convince me that he's been a success. He's gonna have a good game today and then get missing for like 10 games. No, not me really.
I mean, in comparison to, if you compare to Lukaku, if you compare to Koulibaly, if you compare to Cucurella,
Lukaku, I don't see it as a mistake or a failure. It was just extra things, extra football. But if we're talking about,
let me challenge you. Let me challenge you in that one, that statement. So you, Dr. Oaks, you're the manager of Chelsea, and your rich owner says to here's a bag of money, go and buy some players. So you, in your wisdom, you go and buy Lukaku for a ridiculous amount of money because you think, this guy is the best thing since bread came sliced. And you buy this guy, and then you don't know how to play him. You don't know what position to play him, how to service him, and eventually you end up dropping him, and you end up even sending him on loan. What does that say to you as a manager? That means that you don't know what you're doing. Why would you spend this amount of money for a player and then not play him and just completely destroy him, destroy his
the
confidence?
system we were playing over there was horrible. It didn't really allow anybody to cook, really.
No, exactly. Because you're playing very safe football.
And that's why I don't see Lukaku as a failure in terms of football we're talking about here, because giving interview and other stuff is another thing. But that interview probably was also out of frustration. What he was promised and the system we were playing. And before even he gave that interview, he got injured a little bit, and then he came back and everything changed and he was on the bench. Many things happened before even that interview. That interview was done also because of the disappointment. I think if we played some fluid football, some nice football to allow Lukaku to do his thing, I don't think he was going to give that interview. But that is another topic for another day. But I don't see Lukaku as a failure in terms of football. I think Chelsea failed Lukaku in terms of a system, in terms of we don't know how to use people. It's just like blaming Cole freaking Palmer, but you are playing him a false nine and he doesn't feel comfortable,
You know, I watched yesterday. The game in itself was okay, but the atmosphere was unbelievable.
Which game?
Inter Milan versus Atletico. The fans, oh my God, that was passion on a completely crazy, bonkers level. And I can see why it'd be so attractive for something like Lukaku missing that atmosphere, because it's just, those fans were just on fire. Really, really, really love their team, Inter. And I thought, wow, it's hard to find passion like this in any other stadium. Look at Liverpool playing here; it's completely, utterly quiet. You think, what the hell is this? Why are they all quiet? But they just sang from one moment to the end. And even your friend there, Arnautovic, he's been missing like crazy. All these chances throughout the season. And suddenly he had two chances. The one he should have scored, and then he came and he scored on a much harder chance. And the fans, they exploded, really exploded. And even that, I don't know if you've posted. There's a famous Italian commentator. He's a specialist for Inter, called Scalpini. Scalpini, the one, a goal. I don't remember that guy. Oh my God, the guy, I thought he was going to die from a heart attack because he was so happy.
Yeah, there's when you have a good commentator, they make things much better because the fans are gonna go with the flow, even if you are listening on the radio or TV, and you know that I don't like that commentator because he's boring. Or you expect somebody who will be like, Cala Messi, Messi, golazo, golazo. Like Spanish journalists are like the best. And also Arabic. Like if you can't understand the language, but the way they are saying is just so funny and entertaining, you know.
Fantastic. And then you have like the stadium speaker, Gonzalo Higuain, Gonzalo Higuain, and he's just going for like 1 minute, Gonzalo, and the crowd is getting more fire, you know, just because and it's like, wow, this is passion.
Another
this
level.
Is
they have
this is another level.
ultras. They have people who are dedicated to the ambience. They bring drums. They bring speakers or megaphone or whatever you want to call it. So they have where the chant is gonna start, basically where this thing. But in England right now, the atmosphere is kind of down a little bit compared to, like, you know, France and other leagues, because after the incident and everything, and then them being suspended in Europe for 5 years and everything, looks like they try to limit the fans. They don't allow, like, you know, drums or the fire, whatever, you know, the smoke, whatever bomb that they call it in English. They don't allow those kind of stuff, and it's like you can't even stand up. Somebody is gonna tell you to stay down because it's even illegal. And they were even walking on like safe standing where people can stand and sing. So after a lot of disasters in English football, it's kind of killed the culture a little bit of ultra and people who just go there to.
But have you
sing.
seen? One interesting thing from your country, America. I've seen. So I like basketball. So I follow the Los Angeles Clippers, and the Clippers is owned by one of the wealthiest guys in America, Steve Ballmer, and the one who owns Microsoft. And
he was sold from Sterling, another Sterling, not Raheem, but the Sterling, the racist Sterling. Yeah, that's another story.
Yeah, that's right. He bought it from Donald Sterling. He bought the club from Sterling. Now, this guy, the Clippers share the stadium, or they share the hall with the Lakers in Los Angeles, Staples Center. But Clippers have built a brand new stadium just outside Los Angeles. But this stadium, obviously, it's a bit like the sci-fi stadium. Super modern, super high tech. It's cost billions to build. But there's one interesting aspect of this, because this guy is a very, very passionate guy. He's full of fire, full of, we watch him on the side. He's always amongst the crowd. And they built in the stadium a standing section. So normally in America it's always all seating, but they've called the wall. So what they want to do, they want to have a passion like in Europe. I don't know if you've seen basketball games in Europe where there's pyros, there's crazy drums, there's people going completely bonkers, and he wants to create that atmosphere in America, which is very un-American. Americans, they all say defense. So how it's a very funny way of chanting. It's not like Europe, where everybody's singing, where it's completely crazy. America is more polite. It's more, you suck or whatever. But it's not as on the same level. But he wants to create that atmosphere, the ultras and what have you. So it'll be one of those places where you come and you fear. As an away team, you come and fear that stadium because the fans are, you've got like 7,000 people standing one side, jumping up and down, going crazy. And that is going to be very, very interesting to see how that affects like the basketball culture, or if that catches on, or if they find enough fans who are young enough and crazy enough. It's just be very interesting to see how that's going to work. But try something different.
I wish Todd Bowley, when we build a new Stamford Bridge, can also think about the singing section, to put some condition, just dedicate one section for singing, and have some kind of people who are there just to push the ambience. He was at Yellow Wall at Dortmund. He was even filming because how awesome he was.
Wow.
So you create a section like that, you dedicate, you pay few guys or girls there that megaphone and drum just to start the song, because what is happening now, you don't even know where the song is going to start. It's going to be one guy who is normally very drunk, who's going to start somewhere, and then it's not going to even last, because it's going to come on Chelsea 3 times, and everybody like, that's it. But if you have a center of something, this is where the song is going to come from. Somebody is going to start something, he's not going to stop until the end. He's going to beat his drum, and then it's going to go from there. It's going to encourage other people in that section to start singing, and from there the entire stadium.
But it seems like Chelsea's got a brand new song, and this is not original from Chelsea. This is original from Ajax Amsterdam. So this one here, it is more by accident than anything else. 3 little birds beside my doorstep singing.
That is from Bob Marley, right? Because Bob Marley was apparently an Ajax fan or whatever.
Singing "Don't Worry," and this song came by accident. Remember that game against Aston Villa where the ref
Crystal
was
Palace.
Crystal Palace, excuse me, where the ref took about 20 minutes to change his battery. I've never seen this so stupid. But so in the meantime, the stadium speaker played that song, and the Chelsea fans, they sang that song the entire second half. It was absolutely crazy. Why do you think Disasi, he ran into the crowd? Because he also, that song went to his head kind of thing. And so that is a song, that is a song which Chelsea has now suddenly adopted. Because if you watch that, when Ajax is warming up, Ajax Amsterdam, when they're warming up, the fans, they just sing. You see the stadium speaker, he will play maybe like 10 seconds of the song on the loudspeaker, and then he just cuts it off, and then the fans take over. Don't worry. And it's so nice when 40,000 people sing the same song in harmony. It's like, wow, it gives you goosebumps. But so that is one song which motivates Chelsea players, because you saw they were interviewing Conor Gallagher after the game, and that's the first thing he mentions, that song. Wow. Hopefully they'll keep singing that song. It's like, yeah, I know, I can see why you like it, because it's so.
It also went kind of with our situation, so it kind of matched the situation that we were in and we were going through. A lot of defeat. The team is not going good. The media getting on the team. No energy, no nothing, no harmony, no nothing. Pochettino out, and after having a very good game against Villa, and then you play the first half, probably the worst first half ever, and people are, this is a Chelsea thing. We're just going back to the normal service.
Factory settings.
It was a kind of, it's okay. Sometimes it's okay to start slow, and the most important is to finish strong and win the game. So don't worry and be happy, because every little thing is gonna be all right. And then it's kind of really went with our situation, and I'm very happy about it. But the song is not like the first time that Chelsea sing it. I still remember a few times that they were singing, not in this level though. This level is just like everybody is conscious about, what is going on in the club, and it's kind of relaxed to the song. Before, it used to be just like for fun, and for people who use a little bit of green stuff, they feel very good when that song is playing.
Green stuff.
And Mikhailo Mudryk actually was playing the song almost every day on social media. Like, he would put his picture with Pochettino and put the lyrics and the song playing behind. I still remember like a month ago, last year, where it was like a meme on Twitter, because he was playing the song and put the picture with Pochettino talking to him in the stadium, and then he put the song behind, and playing, and people, oh my goodness, this guy is just, talking a lot of nonsense and not doing anything on the pitch. So the song took another level, another dimension, but I don't think that is the first time. This time that we understand the meaning of it, and it kind of worked for us.
It's just the so-called perfect storm. So it fitted that time there when we were in a bad place, just being hammered by Liverpool, just being hammered by Wolves, and then it's almost like here we go again, and we're in a bad place, and that song was almost like a comfort, to don't worry, yes, things are bad, but it's going to be all right, you'll be okay, and it was just perfect.
That also is teaching you guys, you kids today, to sometimes relax a little bit. That's true. Game on social media, right? It was like Poch out, everybody out, such and such out, Gallagher out, everybody out. Like, it was, all kind of memes or all kind of insults, social media it was getting crazy. So at the end, winning 3 just kind of tells you, sometimes you just have to let it go. Just be patient. Let's see what's going to happen in the end.
You can say what you want about Poch, as much as I don't really like him, but I'll give him, if I compare him to like Uncle Tuchel. So like halftime, I've noticed in all of these games, halftime, Poch is able to make good adjustments. He will go in there in the dressing room, you can see this or the other, change tactics, substitute players. Unlike Tuchel, it's always the same. From the first moment whistle, you can be damn sure there's no changing of tactics, no changing nothing, just in the same the whole game through. At least Pochettino tries it. At least against Man City, maybe some of those substitutions were not very smart, because then he went to parking the bus, which probably was the worst thing he could have done. But at least he does make adjustments. We saw that against Aston Villa, Crystal Palace, excuse me. So he went and made some big adjustments there, put players in different positions, what have you. That is management. That is game management. That's having creativity. That's having you're not afraid to lose by taking a chance. That is rather that than just not change anything.
The problem now is, I always remind people, when you are a manager, and especially a manager that nobody likes really because of your affiliation to Tottenham Hotspurs and all that Spursy. When you are a manager, it's always a lose-lose situation at the end, at the beginning. So you have to actually win to get credit. Like, sometimes being stubborn can pay off. You are just waiting. You know what you're trying to do. You understand that it's gonna work at some point, but people are not patient. They just want a change immediately. You make a change and it makes the situation even worse. But you make a change and immediately you get a result. You are a genius. So it's always depend on the end product, the end result. If you waited and somebody score at the end, people are gonna tell you, be patient. Because I saw even against City, Sterling didn't start the game good. He missed probably couple sitter before that goal. And then when he scored that goal, I saw the same people flip-flopping and, oh wow, you should have been a little bit patient, because look at Raheem Sterling. So in football, things can change very, very quickly. The narrative can change very quickly. Thomas Tuchel, when he wasn't making changes back then, it was all about players. It's players' fault. They can't do it. He doesn't have any particular player from the bench that can make the difference. So because we like the guy, we're gonna find a scapegoat somewhere else. It's the players, especially Cobham. And then we can move down. If we don't find another Cobham guy to blame, we can drop a little bit and go to Thiago Silva. The age become a problem and all that. So
in the old days of Roman, Pochettino would have been fired a long time ago.
Yeah, Roman Abramovich was never going to give him time because he knew what he was doing. For him, it wasn't a business. It was an entertainment. I got my money. I don't care about profit or anything. You win now. That was a different project than now. You have to go through a process, and the winning is going to come as a consequence of the process. But back then, you buy players that you want. So I'm not going to wait for you. You have to win now.
No FFP. Unlike now, where now you got suddenly balance things and sell players and whatever you got to use the budget. So it's times have changed. You can't just go and splash cash. Like I don't know what the current situation in Chelsea is, but you see the media stop talking about it. So it must be. Since the media, the media has always got an anti-Chelsea agenda, but they've stopped talking about Chelsea. Oh, they must sell for 100 million, blah blah blah, all that nonsense. And if they've stopped talking about it, they must be that it's because there was no case. We're just trying to create a narrative. We're just trying to create, sell through headlines. But the ones who've got the questions to answer, obviously, it's Man City. And yeah, but Chelsea, they tried their luck. They tried to put Chelsea in the centre of attention, but I think that was nonsense. Because why have they stopped talking about it? They've gone back to talking about Man City again, the 150 charges or whatever. And they talk about Man City got 150 charges. What do? They go and punish Newcastle and Nottingham Forest instead. It makes no sense, but.
The City situation, last night actually I was watching on some lawyers that know what they are talking about and know the case very well. It might be almost impossible for the Premier League to prove what they are claiming. There's a lot of details I'm not going to get there, but most of the time in our level, it's always black or white. It's always, they have 115 charges. That's it. But to go to the details and try to prove it to a court, because they have the best lawyers in the world, they're gonna use every single loophole that exists in the book, and it's gonna get them tired. It looks like it's gonna come to the point where they make a deal somehow, just because they have to look like, we are the guys, so we're gonna fine you 10,000 or 10,000 bucks or something like that. It's gonna come to that point because the details that guy was explaining, I'm like, no. This is another level, right? So it's almost impossible to prove it in the civil law, and they can play with the time as much as they can, Manchester City, without being found guilty or anything. So that is another case, but in our level, it's black or white. They have 115 charges. We only have one, Blackie. Two completely different kind of cases. Your case is easy to prove. This is what you did. This is this. This case been going on for 10 years. That has to do with so many people who even retired from football, who are being accused of this and that and this and that. And it's almost impossible to prove what you're talking about. And the Premier League don't have the same power and money to kind of, it's difficult. They have few lawyers there who work for the Premier League. What about it? They might not be even smart, you know, like in Manchester City, what they did, they are paying like the most expensive lawyer in the UK. Like that guy, I don't know, I forgot the amount of money he gets by hour. It's scary. Like he's gonna just hammer them down in court like this. Bam, gone. Just like a Cold Stone, Steve Austin. It's gonna give them a stunner.
But
Bam.
don't forget, so like, just like Chelsea, they found a loophole in the rules. And they were able to give these players 8-year contracts, whatever. Totally legal. And Man City, obviously, they're not stupid. They've got top lawyers, and they've known exactly what they were doing all these years. They don't just make decisions without running by their lawyers, accountants, and what have you, so to see, okay, how to do this, how do we launder this money, what have you. So they know exactly, they've known exactly what they've been doing all these years. It's not like they're not stupid. You don't become rich by being stupid. They have advisors, lawyers, people who know what they're doing. So that is a big difference between maybe who's this, Everton or Nottingham Forest, maybe a bit naive or something. But, I don't know. Liverpool's still losing. I can't believe it.
And Porto, Arsenal still 0-0. I was expecting by now that Arsenal are gonna smash them like 3-0 already, but still 0-0. And Napoli, Barcelona still 0-0. People. Lamine Yamal, that kid is like 16 years old, and he's the youngest kid to start in the Champions League match group stage. So the boy is just breaking record. I'm sure that when he goes back home and Mama is gonna give him the bottle, his milk bottle, hey, take it, hey, baby, and cover him when he's sleeping on the couch and carry him to the bedroom or say, hey, it's 8 o'clock. Time, go wash your teeth right now. Yes, I'm talking to you. Go wash your teeth and go sleep. Still, Mama just making decision for you. What have you done with your pant? Look at your pant. What is this? It's, you know, like, it's still living with parent and listen to my orders. I don't think he has even the right to buy a condo and apartment. He's still living with Mama. Mama still wash your clothes and everything else.
What do you think in your analysis? What do you think will happen psychologically to this Liverpool team if they fail to win this game against Luton?
I still believe they're gonna win. Second half, they're gonna find a way to win.
Just in theory.
In theory,
if they fail to win.
Nothing, because I think a final is a final. You know that you.
No, I'm talking about the league, just not the final. Just
in terms of the league, you drop point. I think Arsenal fans now are praying God. Whatever God they pray is like, hey man, take some point off them. They supported Chelsea Football Club when we played against Manchester City. Everybody, you know, we were the most popular club in England that day because everybody wanted Chelsea to get the result. We didn't beat them, but we still take 2 points away from them. So that is gonna help a team like Arsenal. That's why I was saying last year, this is bad. It doesn't sound like Arsenal are gonna do the Arsenal. I could feel it. How the hell the crisis started in November, December is beyond me. No man, push it a little bit. This time they have all the time in the world to recover. So Arsenal in a good position. but don't write Manchester City off yet.
Oh no, I think they're my favourites to win.
They know how to. Well, you're saying that because you hate Arsenal. You don't want them to win, but
and Tottenham and Liverpool.
Realistically, Arsenal got a very, very good team. They are serious contender, even in the Champions League. I've been telling people that, oh no, it's not going to happen. Hey, it will happen one day, and why not this year? If you look at other teams, City in the Champions League, yeah, you can make a case, but Arsenal beat City. Remember that. Real Madrid, they are struggling with a lot of injuries. They don't have a proper number 9, but Jude Bellingham became a number 9 from nowhere. He's scoring for them. They have like the entire defense. Alaba, ACL injury. Militao, ACL injury. Rudiger, another bad injury, is going to be out for weeks. I don't know how many. But they still have power in front. Bellingham didn't play the last 2 games because of another injury. He's going to be back. But the way I see it is like Arsenal got a package. I hate to say this, but I think they might go and win this thing this season. They have everything they need. Well, probably not like a clinical number 9, but Kai Havertz can score you 1 goal in the final of the Champions League. Remember that. So I think they have the most complete team in England. Not complete really, but yeah, good team. Let's say that. But to save football,
I don't subscribe.
Yeah, that is your opinion. That is mine. When I was saying that Tottenham Hotspurs had a chance to go to the final of the Champions League that year, I don't know if even I had a channel back then. When I was saying that, people called me crazy. It's Spursy, it's not gonna happen, that's what they do. Rules are made to be broken, bro. There is somebody who will break the rule one day. Everything is made to change one day. Just because you've been Spursy, it doesn't mean that it's gonna continue that way. One day you're gonna break that down. So you can deny it because we all wanna pretend they are not good and it's not gonna happen, because we wanna stay the only team in London with the Champions League. We wanna be in that position. We didn't even want City to win because we were singing Champions of Europe. You will never sing that, and they did. Pep Guardiola been there like for 8 years, trying every single year. Oh no, it's the Yaya Toure curse. Was losing finals, semi-finals, quarter-finals. Everybody was desperate. This guy can't win the Champions League without Messi. Yaya Toure, you have to go to the village in Ivory Coast. Ask for forgiveness there and win. What happened? 8 years later, boom. So I'm telling you now, deny it if you want, but one day it's going to happen. I've been realistic. I don't want it to happen. I don't want to see it. But if it's happened, it's happened. You have no power to stop it.
Of course, I'm just listening, but as far as Spurs, I've been rewatching this movie for the last 50 years, man. Not that old. It just same old bubblers. Now they're even exporting their philosophy to other nations. They're exporting this Spursy philosophy to Germany, and is with great success. You can see a team which has not lost for God knows how long in the German league, where it is now suddenly they risk going the whole season without winning a trophy, which is by
Bayern Munich. That's why I said people were calling Leverkusen like never Kusen or something like that. They gave them a nickname. Never. But look at them today. They might even win the treble. Told you things are, everything is gonna change. Nothing lasts forever. You will see. So sometimes you have just to prepare yourself to accept it.
So Leverkusen better make sure they win the title this season, because what will happen is when the season's over, Bayern Munich will just go shopping in Leverkusen.
Get all their best players and destroy them again. Yeah, that's true. And especially if Alonso leaves, I think he's gonna go with probably 1 or 2 players that he trusts to the new team. He might take somebody like Vince, Florian Vince, or let's say Victor Boniface. He's gonna take somebody with him for sure, or a couple of players. And other teams are gonna come to shop there. It's gonna be good money. They're gonna lose probably 5 key players. They bring a new manager. The expectations is already very high there. And he's gonna get in trouble very quickly with the fans, because a fan favorite is gone who just won you something. And then that's how you destroy a team again after winning a big title. After winning a title is the time that is very dangerous for a team. You have to reinforce.
1-1.
Yeah, 1-1. Told you that they're gonna win. So 56 minutes in my location, Liverpool. I told you I can feel. I still feel like they're gonna win. Ross Barkley been having a very good game because he hit them really. He hit Liverpool.
You can see by your philosophy. My German team I support is Schalke 04. 04. Schalke 04.
They are like gone.
Bayern, so they are still suffering from the time when Bayern, because when they were champions, it's a bit like same scenario as Dortmund last season, where Schalke had it all in their hands in the last game of the season, and blah, 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 and Bayern stole the title from them. But Bayern was so nervous, they went and bought about 4 of their best players, including Manuel Neuer, and I don't know, 3 or 4 others. And,
Neuer used to be at Schalke? I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, that's where he started his career, and then Schalke just went downhill from there. Straight, he just struggled a few seasons in the Bundesliga, and then obviously bought bad players to replace them. And ever since then, it's just been going downhill. Now they're in the second division, and they are near the relegation zone, near the bottom. And like last season, they escaped going down into the regional league. But it's the same. They management, poor players. They're buying all these sort of like useless players, which nobody's ever heard of. And in a panic, and a bit like in the English Championship, once you're in there, it is hell on earth. To get back up is sometimes you can be there for 15, 20 years before you.
Yeah, if you don't fight to come back in the next couple of years, you might find yourself in League One just like that, because you don't have the parachute money anymore. You sold your best player. 2! Oh my goodness! Told you! 2!
Yep.
Told you Luton are gonna lose. I said it. They're gonna turn the heat in the second half. It's gonna be a different game. So.
No, but it's true. So it's once, like, look at Nottingham Forest, champions of Europe. You'll never sing that. 2 times, and they were in the championship for 18 years or something like that, more. And look at some of the other big clubs, Birmingham City in the championship. There's Coventry. There's so many teams. Leeds. How long was Leeds in the championship? Remember, they were in the Champions League semi-final, and then it just went downhill from there. So there's some big teams which just struggle. I'll give you another good example in Germany. Hamburg. HSV Hamburg is one of the founding teams of the Bundesliga, and they were unlucky to get relegated that season, and they thought I will bounce straight back up. They're now what 7 seasons in the first division, as they call it there, not the Bundesliga. Yeah, and it's so strange because if you look at the first division, the first Bundesliga, they call it. It's more attractive to watch. I know it sounds very strange.
Half-time, people, between Porto and Arsenal still 0-0. And half-time also between Napoli and Barcelona 0-0. 60 minutes in my location for the game between Liverpool and Luton Town, and it's 2-1 to Liverpool.
In the German first division, the games there are more attractive to watch than the Bundesliga, because you've got all the big teams. You've got so many big teams which were used to be Bundesliga teams, which play in that division, compared to the Bundesliga, where you've got a lot of these, Augsburg and Bochum, whatever, all these small Mickey Mouse teams, which are all in the Bundesliga, and they don't have a very big fan base, and it's just not attractive to watch. Unlike if you're going to watch Nuremberg. Nuremberg is the big city. Besides, I mentioned you've got Hamburg, you've got Schalke, you've got Hertha Berlin. You've got so many big teams, all the traditional teams. They're all in the first division. So those games, so you'll find there's more fans watching, in the stadium and obviously on TV, watching the first division than the actual, so it'd be like the championship has more fans, more TV viewing than the what do you call that, the EPL. That's because tradition is tradition. People, big clubs are big clubs. If you're a big club, you're a big club. That is just. It's like, let's say if Luton is playing. Let's say Luton is playing Sheffield. Nobody really wants to watch that. They want to watch big teams. They want to watch Everton. They want to watch Forest, not Forest. Everton, Chelsea, United, Arsenal. The people want to watch the big teams. If they were all in the Premiership, in the way you call the first division, English first division, you would find the same thing that happened. People wouldn't want to watch these. If let's say if the table was turned on its head and the top dogs were, Crystal Palace and all these other kind of teams, it wouldn't be a very good product, because tradition means a lot, as you know. Tradition, heritage, as Jose says, heritage. This is football heritage, and it's what makes Man United. If they were not playing there, if they weren't a top team, even if United is a bottom team, fans will still watch United or Liverpool or Chelsea for that matter. And it's just, as Jose says, heritage. It's football heritage, and you can't deny that. So yeah, I don't know. But Chelsea, we have heritage. Our heritage is currently on standby, but reloading. The batteries are being charged. The phone is being charged. They'll be back. You wait.
The problem with traditional clubs and football heritage is that people die. Generation pass, new things happen, and you have new fans. Like today, I know a lot of fans that just follow Manchester City because they are winning, or De Bruyne is there, or Haaland is there.
Yep.
When Ronaldo leaves Manchester United, and then they unsubscribe and they follow him to Al Nassr. Messi, he took 10 billion of followers to Inter Miami, just giving an example. So the problem with those traditions is
millions.
Yeah. So the problem with those traditional clubs is, if you continue to think that we are traditional club, we are big, and you start going down like Nottingham Forest, and then you miss out on the entire generation of fans. They have less.
Excellent point.
You have less fans now, because back then Nottingham Forest used to be huge, champions of Europe. If you capitalize from that and you go stronger and stronger, and then you build, international audience. But they didn't capitalize from that. It's like kids today, when they were even the championship, you say Nottingham Forest, they say, what? Where is that team? Wow. Like, hey, this is in the time of your fathers and your grandfather. This is the team, right? This is the team. But they don't know. They don't understand now. Now, they're going to follow their big stars. And I'm sure Mbappe is living with billions from PSG. They're going to switch to Real Madrid.
But okay, then if that's, if I go by your statement there about, you have to win and all that, but how is it that Arsenal will never win anything, Chelsea and Man City, okay, Man City I can understand, but I'm talking about Africa. You see the majority of fans, every time you see video from Africa, you will see all the same. Chelsea shirts, Arsenal shirts, Man City shirts. You never see Liverpool, and you see once in a while Man United. But it seems to be that Chelsea and Arsenal, they're the ones, West Africa in a way, who dominate. But how is that? How and why is that?
But it could be because of the heritage of African players. Drogba is more than a player. He's more even than a prisoner. Samuel Eto'o, Nwankwo Kanu, if you go to Nigeria, you find like he already established a base. So, like, the generation is not dead yet. That's what I'm talking about. Like, we still have the generation from that time who are pushing their friends and kids to continue following. But if you continue going down and down, even Arsenal, they were still winning FA Cups. They will still have Wenger there, who is French, and a big part of like African countries speak French and can relate to Wenger for what he did, discovering George Weah, bringing him to France and all that. So it's still kind of not the same generation, but in between. That's why it's that way. If you continue finishing 7th, people don't watch you in the Champions League anymore, you don't win anything, you start going down. But because of how good Arsenal established themselves over the years, it's still paying off. And now that they are going back to their level that we knew them back in the Thierry Henry days, you will see that they continue being popular. And Saka, nobody is going to tell you that Saka is from England. They're going to tell you he's from Nigeria. He's our brother Nigerians.
That's right.
So Saliba, you will see, oh no, his parents are from Benin or Cameroon. People still relate to those teams because of, something, some players or some origin or stuff. 68 minutes. Liverpool 2, Luton Town 1. We still have time for Porto, Arsenal, and Napoli, Barcelona. 0-0, second half. Give me your prediction for the second half. Porto against Arsenal.
Who's playing at home?
Porto. They are playing in the Dragon Stadium. The stadium that Chelsea won the Champions League. Remember that.
Arsenal will win 1-0.
Arsenal 1-0. Okay, Napoli against Barcelona. Two struggling teams. Who's going to win?
I'll say away win. Barcelona is also going to win 1-0.
Barcelona winning at Napoli 1-0. So you're going, all the receiving teams are losing today. That's basically what you mean. So let's see what's going to happen at the end. People, we have him on the record. We're going to play the VAR.
Oh, goodness, I'll be roasted. You're gonna kill me.
We have the VAR, people, because this guy is the champion of flip-flop. He's going to say, I didn't say that. No, we have you on the record.
Flip-flop. What's wrong with you? And
we have him on the record, people. It's not going anywhere. We're going to catch him and say, you say this, look at what's happening.
And then this game here, Liverpool, Luton. I see Luton's attacking. They're not scared. So maybe
that is more dangerous though, because they're gonna get a counter and concede the third goal.
I think it probably be 4-1, 3 or 4-1.
Well, the way I see the game going now, it looks like Klopp actually told them to slow down a little bit, save some energy, but don't concede. Okay, don't concede. Let's get 3 points here. We have a final on Sunday. Save some energy. That's the way I see it. This guy, Blue Eyes, disappeared since he came here to punch me when Bafana were out, right? So he came, he was so much energy, bro. Listen, I was down. This guy was kicking me over and over and over again. He told me himself he came here to give me hard time. I'm like, okay, it's your time. But since the final,
this is your chance, Og.
Since the final,
let me have.
He just
I'm gonna
gone.
shut up.
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro. Let me have.
No. I'm not you. I'm not gonna act like you.
I've come for my penance, Og. Go ahead.
Oh, 3-1 Liverpool. Yeah, go on, bro. Go on. How you been?
I'm good. We've been mourning since the last day of AFCON. It was a heartbreaking end to the movie. You know that movie where you think it's all gonna go well, and then the last scene is a heartbreaker. That's exactly what happened.
My condolences to you, but
we need it. We need it. I know we have big mouths, but it's okay.
but I have something to comfort you on. So since your beloved team Nigeria likes to play park the bus football, Thomas Tuchel is available to take over.
Is the coach sacked or is he still in place? The Nigerian coach, he's Portuguese.
No, yeah, he's still in place.
But you know what? That guy, that's why I worked with Mourinho. So I think he brought I think Nigeria could have done a little bit better. When they score the first goal, go for the second.
Exactly.
Don't wait. Just go push for the second.
Exactly. The coach got caught up in the back three whole idea that he forgot about. Like you said, Oggs, putting them on the ropes, especially when you're up 1 goal.
Yeah.
But again, in the interest of consistency, I would like to see the coach stay. Maybe let's see, because I think we have some we got some friendlies coming up. One against Argentina, and I want to see how we play against Argentina, against Enzo and Messi in that game. I think it's in the next couple of months. In the interest of consistency, I say keep this coach. But that finals was kudos to Ivory Coast, man. Kudos to the Adingras and Ale, nothing
what
but
a
respect.
Story, man. What a story.
Nothing. I watched this guy play in the EPL. I remember watching him play in the EPL before
with
with
West Ham. Yeah.
Thank you. When I remember his whole Ajax story, come back to West Ham, then go out again, and then to at the end encapsulate it with a worthy AFCON. It's a story that I think supersedes anything. So kudos to.
Mr. Blue Eyes.
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Blue Eyes. I have to counter you. Sorry, I normally counter Dr. Oaks, but today it's going to be you. So we'll be discussing here about entertainment. You, as Nigeria, the pride of Africa, the largest country in Africa, biggest population, a country which all Africans look up to. They want to be like Nigerians. They love their music. They love their culture. They love everything about Nigeria.
I know you're saying all this tongue in cheek.
Go straight to the point.
Go straight to the point. Let me help you. Let me help you. We are saying all this tongue in cheek. Is this where I'm supposed to feel good?
No, it's just to make just so he can belittle you. So he can belittle you at the end. Like, look how good you are, but look how the Almighty has fallen to the feet of Ivory Coast.
Nigerian culture is spread all over Africa. People love Nigeria, love Nigeria.
What is your question? What is
the best businessmen? So
what
you
is
guys,
your question? What is your question?
As Nigerians, as I said, the leaders of Africa, to play this brand of park the bus football, is this acceptable for you? You guys, with your pride, your dignity?
It is. It's not about pride and dignity. It's about the product, the African game. Thank you for asking me that question. Let me educate you. It's about the African game. When you play the African game, especially in a tournament like AFCON, it's a different proposition altogether. It's not EPL, it's not World Cup, it's not Euros, it's not it's
AFCON, bro.
It's AFCON, man. You have to do what it takes.
People who eat like organic food, right?
When you go into that tournament,
neighborhood,
you want to do whatever it takes to walk away with that with the hardware.
Yeah.
Look. You see Ghana. Ghana got kicked out in the first round. But guess what? We still haven't matched the number of AFCONs Ghana has.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But
Ivory Coast. Hold on.
The
No, there's no missing of points. Ivory Coast just tied with us in total number of AFCONs ever.
Yeah.
You understand? So all I'm trying to say to you is,
it's not that easy.
You are looking at AFCON with your EPL lenses on, which is terrible. You need to come back and wash your face. You need to wash your face. No. You need to hold on. Let me finish. You need to wash your face. You are looking at AFCON with lenses of different leagues and different tournaments. To the point that you don't trust, just because if we had won this tournament, your proposition would be different.
No.
It would have been different.
I would have the same feeling like I have with Chelsea.
No. Listen, you guys, listen.
No, I have nothing against. There's nothing against. My point was Nigeria. If you were a small nation, let's say if you're Togo,
you see that tells me how you understand the game.
But my point is Nigeria has so many damn good players. They have world-class players.
Yeah, but it also says to me. It also says to me that in 2012 you did not watch the Champions League final between Bayern and Chelsea. You did not win. You did not watch the Champions League semi-finals between Barcelona and Chelsea. Did you watch?
He didn't even watch Napoli game.
You don't watch Napoli games. Like, I'm confused. Listen, parking the bus. Hold on. This is very important, especially for kids growing up and playing the game. Parking the bus has nothing to do with nationality. Parking the bus is actually a sign of survivor.
It's cowardly. It's cowardly. It's cowardness.
It's not.
It's
not cowardly. We got to the finals.
Anti-football.
It's not. It is not. It's functional. That's what you see. That's the problem. This is the reason we've been brave at Chelsea, and look at where we are. How many goals have we considered?
When? This season?
Yeah, no. In the past, let me even say 2 seasons. How many goals have we considered in the past 2 seasons? In the interest of being brave and not parking the bus.
Yeah, that's because we're changing our philosophy. We're going from parking the bus.
Listen, parking the bus.
We don't want anti-football anymore. We want it to be
entertaining. The problem now, let me put something here. The problem is, even Jose Mourinho used to say, you don't play a final, you win a final. My brother, educate them. Yeah, my only problem, my only problem I had with Nigeria is they have the power to punish them a little bit more. I understand the parking the bus is a final, you are winning one, but Ivory Coast, every time people put some pressure on them, they collapse. Nigeria beat them in the first game. They beat them. Equatorial Guinea punished them like 4-0, 4-1 or something like that, because they couldn't handle the pressure. So I was thinking myself, this is a final. I don't really blame them for parking the bus, being a little bit cautious. We are winning 1-0. Let's see the game out. But I think we still have the power to counter and beat them. And I was a little bit disappointed of my boy Osimhen, because this is the moment.
Don't get me started. Please.
This is the moment.
I'm trying to mourn.
This is the moment that you put yourself apart from the rest. You expect your big guy to be the big man in a big event like that. Boom! Top corner, top beam from nowhere. Even if the entire team is dead or whatever, this is the moment. This is the moment that Messi is going to score that top beam. This is the moment that Drogba is going to score that header. Okay? The 90th minute or the 80th minute. This is your moment. So I was a little bit let down a little bit by by Osimhen, and people get on me a lot, but I don't care. I have to tell the truth. Just because I'm telling the truth about the player doesn't mean that I hate the player.
My brother, Chai.
Hey, Chai.
Oh my goodness. Ogs, I don't even know if I know you don't drink, but me and you supposed to drink whiskey for you for saying what you just said right now.
We call it bourbon, Kentucky bourbon.
Exactly. We need to drink Kentucky bourbon. Me and you. Oh, God will bless you for me. Keep talking. I'm listening. I'm learning.
I'm done. Let's give a
People's
Republic something to say.
But my point. Going back to the point there. So this destructive anti-parking the bus football came to bite Nigeria in the ass badly, because when they went 2-1 down, they had no idea. They didn't know how to, because they were so used to anti-football. They were so used to 1-0. They had no idea. They just didn't know how to press. And Osimhen spent more time rolling on the ground and trying to be a superstar and what have you. He tried too hard, by the way. He tried too hard.
My brother. People's Republic, my brother. You're preaching to the choir. You're preaching. And you know, like I said on the day of the actual funeral, on the day of, I was saying to other people that I watched the game with, I said, listen, the coach has exhibited his tactical naivety. I don't know how you pronounce that word.
Yeah,
that word.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Because what happened is, like Ogs rightfully said, in that game, you see what Ivory Coast did is they swamped. What did they do? They clustered the midfield. Fofana, what's his name? My boy, Kessié, Frank Kessié, and the other guy. Those three. While we had only two. No, Adingra was up front. I can't remember. I think it's Fai that played in the middle. Yeah, I think it was Fai. So Fai, those
Kessié,
three. Kessié and Fofana against Alex Iwobi and Onyeka, just two. What I expected the coach to do is throw another body in the midfield and pull out Samuel Chukwueze. But he like you guys said, we got stuck defending. And listen, you live by the sword and you die on your sword. And we died on our sword. I mean, it's obvious. We died on the sword of defense. We had
your right back was terrible. He got roasted all night long.
Both. Even Ola had a terrible finals. In my humble opinion, he had a great tournament, but a suspect finals for me.
Who?
Ola.
Aena. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He had a wonderful tournament. I think he actually made the team of the tournament. But
I really respect your captain.
Oh yeah. My goodness! For somebody who is playing non-league football to come and show.
Yeah, he had a very good tournament. I think
he made the team.
Yeah, I think he made the team.
He made the team. Yeah. It's just, listen. I'm all about consistency. Let's take this momentum. I know it wasn't just enough. Take this momentum and see what we can do with it. It looks like we have a goalkeeper now.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, he's not
if he can stay fit, because he had some issues in the tournament that he had to come off, or he was laying on the floor, but hopefully it's not that bad. And another thing that I saw, like Nigerians online were not happy, is like they were received by the president and he gave them, I don't know, the land, piece of something like that.
Yeah.
And golden medal, something like that, and people are these people just failed, and then you're giving them this.
No, but that's what that's what happens when you just get kicked out of a tournament. You don't want to know what happened when we lost to Italy in 1994 on the World Cup. You don't want to know what happened when we lost to Denmark in the World Cup in 1998. You don't want to know what happened when we lost some of these big games. The fans go crazy for about 48 hours, and then afterwards everybody's blood pressure goes back to normal. And this is what we're going through now. It was a terrible end to the AFCON, but you know what? Apart from that, I thought this was a fantastic tournament.
Yeah, I was really surprised by the quality, because let's be honest, in Cameroon the pitches were a little dodgy.
Yeah, some of the pitches, some of the pitches were dodgy. Yeah, absolutely. Even though I enjoyed it, maybe because I was there. But you're right, some of the pitches were suspect.
I don't want to ruin your holiday. You spent a lot of money to go there, but yeah, it was
I had too much fun.
Many problems there in Nigeria, but this AFCON, you can tell they really put a lot of money to organize this.
And my goodness! Listen, and I think anybody who says Drogba is not. I'm not saying he invested, but anybody who says Drogba is not part of the policy behind what we saw in Ivory Coast is out of their mind. Out of their mind. I think he played a huge part in making sure that tournament was nothing but, a fantastic success.
Yeah, Drogba he's a leader. He's part of the organization and everything. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And you know what? One thing else I wanted to say, People's Republic, really quick is, I'm hoping that all these kids in EPL, La Liga, Italy, France, that say, I don't really want to go play. I think I'm good here. I hope they watch Ale. Okay? I hope they watch Sebastian Ale.
Yeah.
Thank you. And you can see heart and soul.
Yeah, he was. I really liked one of his press conferences. A journalist from Europe asked him if he was happy representing Ivory Coast while, like his team needs him.
His mom is from France and this is from there and all that stuff. Yeah.
He was so angry. He was like, this is so disrespectful. He would never ever ask a question like this to anybody from Europe or South America or going to play for their country. This is so disrespectful.
Yo, you can say that again. So all these kids that are, when we reach out to them, make them an offer to come back home and play, and they're second guessing. I'm hoping that Alain's story will persuade them to think otherwise moving forward.
Haaland, what a story, man. That guy almost lost all his family jewelry by cancer. Like, he went through hell in the last couple of years, and look at him today, a hero on the pitch.
Did you see the welcome he got from his Dortmund teammates? You see that video?
Yeah.
Wow.
Now it's becoming like a tradition. When you won something with your national team, you come back and there's gonna be a big ceremony. People are just applauding. There's gonna be cake. It's gonna be fireworks everywhere. The color of your countries and flags. Yeah. So even Adingra got the same kind of reception.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I was watching. I was watching Brighton versus another team, and the commentator said the African champion.
Yeah,
Adingra. I'm like,
now
nice.
the guy. I think the guy money is up now. Like if you wanna buy him from Brighton now, you have to prepare 100 billion, Mr. Todd Bowley.
Oggs, I'm a good scout. When the season started, I reached out to a lot of my Chelsea guys. I said, go and pick up Simo Adingra.
Yeah.
Go and pick up this boy. He's still raw. He's not finished.
Yeah.
I think his ceiling is very high, but that kid is going to be a bad boy.
Yeah. Did you see the game? Yeah, he scored after the AFCON. I think he scored.
He scored. Yes. Absolutely. And the way the coach, the Ivory Coast coach, used him, I think, was the key to his success in this tournament. He kept him hungry for a long time, and when he hit the field, he basically won that semi-finals for them.
Yeah.
He won that before Alain's goal. Adingra came in and changed the game for them. So listen, congratulations to everybody that participated in the AFCON. We move next, and trust me, less than 12 months we're doing this again, this time in Casablanca, Morocco. Pumped up, excited, can't wait. Hopefully it gets better, and we look forward to seeing
the problem with that is when the AFCON is organized in the north, it's gonna be one of the teams from the north that will win. Like
that's okay.
And when it's in the south, it's usually
Cameroon. Who won Cameroon? Oh yeah, you're right too. In Cameroon, that's right too.
Yeah, so Senegal was the champion.
Oggs, don't go there.
So that's what I was reading and see. It's just like
it's a regional thing. Every region wants to win.
So it's gonna be Tunisia, Morocco, or I don't know what, Egypt. One of the countries in the north.
It's funny I didn't even think about that. All the North African teams were eliminated in like the knockout stages.
Yeah.
That's true. I didn't think about that.
Algeria, bro. Algeria. They were like champions of Africa like 2 years ago.
What about Morocco?
Yeah, they made it to the semi-finals of the
And South Africa kicked them out, man. Bafana.
Bafana did the work on them. Yeah,
absolutely. You know, all I can tell you is it's a midfield intensive game. The African game. I don't know if it must be the same all over the world, but I think what I learned from this AFCON is that it's a midfield intensive game. If you don't have a midfield, you ain't going nowhere, man.
Oh, Liverpool!
I want you to tell me Porto has scored. I'm not watching it. I want you to give me Porto, please. Has Porto scored?
0-0. No, I'm talking about Liverpool winning 4-1. Oh, Barcelona just scored against Napoli. Oh, what's going on here?
Hey, let's have a discussion about somebody, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes,
if you
sir.
have the time. This name, two nouns, Thomas Tuchel.
Okay, what do you want to know about him? He won the Champions League for you. It's not enough?
Like, how is it that it is taking Bayern Munich to almost want to fire Thomas Tuchel for people to understand that this guy is not a coach?
There you see.
He's a manager. He's not a coach. He's a manager who puts.
No, he's not a manager. If he's a manager,
you can manage people without coaching them. If that makes sense.
My brother, if he's a manager, Romelu Lukaku wouldn't have gone to the media. And I know going to the media is not part of his body of work, Lukaku. But I'm just saying, that's what management does. When you manage people, it means you have good relationships. People will rather come to you than go to the media. So again, I don't think he has that. I think Frank Lampard is better than Tuchel as a coach. I don't care what it is.
Lampard developed people. That is not.
Yes, my brother.
He doesn't know how to win. That's the problem. Like
I don't know about that. He got us top four.
Well, the problem, he doesn't know how to be. To win tournaments, right? You need some character. You need people who are a little bit pushy, to get to cross that line. So Lampard's still in the level of developing. Oh, I feel sorry. Oh, Billy Gilmore, let's give him a chance. But in certain level where
he's not ruthless yet.
Yeah, he's not ruthless also. Okay, you Mason Mount, you're not playing good at the moment. You are out. I'm gonna play a veteran or whatever. I just wanna win this game. He's not in that level yet. But Thomas Tuchel is in that level of I wanna win. All right, at any cost, no matter what's gonna happen here, I wanna win. So you have to give him some flowers on that point too.
I think Thomas Tuchel uses his charisma to mask I don't want to use inability, but just to mask his shortcomings when it comes to actually being an X's and O's guy. I think people get lost in the charisma sauce because of how he carries himself. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Oaks.
No, I said I'm just agreeing with you. So I want you to know that I'm paying attention. If that makes sense?
Yes, No, I'm with you, my brother.
Thomas Tuchel, he's a one-trick pony. So basically, he knows only one system, and the system he does is he's very, very good at it. We'll give him his flowers there. The problem is, once opponents and teams have figured out a system, he has no other plan B. He has no other kind of system.
Exactly.
And this is where you saw after Chelsea won the Champions League, the season after. When they started, you remember how bad we just were nowhere, Chelsea, and he started fighting with Conte and whatever, doing all that kind of stuff there, trying to distract attention from the fact that his teams were bang average. They had no idea how to attack there. There was no creativity, and he got found out there, and they ended up getting fired. But when he has his back five, whatever, back seven, whatever he plays their system, yes, park the bus is very effective and all that. Absolutely horrendous to watch. It's not entertainment. I'm sorry, but winning is one thing, but come on, not at all costs. But as Mr. Oak said to me, no, he won the Champions League, so it's good enough. Okay, fair enough. But at some point, it's a bit like I'll give you a terrible analogy. It's a bit like you go to disco and you meet some woman there, whatever, and you take her home and you do the funky chicken, and you do that for a week. At some point, you've got to get out of bed and you've got to actually talk to her, and you figure out who the hell is this person? I don't know you.
This guy is a player.
You can tell.
I don't know you. Who are you? And once that is when you get out of the bed, but he has to maybe take a year off and then maybe go and learn a bit more football. What do I have of a plan B? Do I dare attack and play a back four? What have you? No, do something. But if you're going to carry on like this, I think you've been exposed. You were exposed at PSG. You got exposed at Chelsea. Now you've been exposed at Bayern, and all those places. By the way, there seems to be been a player revolt. If you noticed, there's been a player revolt at all these three stations. So there's something going on there. Maybe he is a bit of a hard head, my way or the highway type there. And there's nothing wrong with that. You are the manager, so it's your privilege. But sometimes maybe you have to be a bit more flexible. Listen to the players, and those old school days, as Mr. Oaks keeps telling us, they're long gone. The times have changed. These players are all millionaires, and you've got to treat them in a different way than maybe you did in the Jose Mourinho days and beyond. And this is where some of these coaches are getting caught out. You cannot bully players anymore like you did in the old days. Nowadays you've got to coax them because they're all spoiled millionaires. I don't know. Times have changed, so I don't know. He's got to change as well if he wants to carry on.
No, but my problem with my challenge with Thomas Tuchel is you coached in Germany. Somebody needs to be. Is that me?
No.
You coached.
Sorry, I was blowing my. Oh, sorry.
So you coached in Germany. You came to the UK. You went back to Germany. Not only did you go back to Germany, you have the best striker in world football. You have one of the best young midfielders in world football. In that Nigerian boy, what's his name? I call him I'm going to say Nigerian boy first. Musiala.
Yeah, Jamal. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the most exciting midfielders, up and coming midfielders in world football at his age. And still, you want to tell? What is his excuse that this team is young? What is his excuse? Can somebody help me?
He didn't get exactly what he wanted.
Oh my goodness! You're making Harry Kane. Does it mean that Harry Kane? I heard Harry Kane scored 28 goals so far in 20 games. Is that correct? I don't know if that number is right. If that is
he scored a lot of goals. I'm not like
If he scored 28 goals, then it's 28 useless goals. That's why Drogba did not have as many goals as Frank Lampard, but Drogba scored big goals, the biggest goals in Chelsea history. He didn't score goals; he scored big goals. Maybe that's what because now you're looking at what's his name, Harry Kane, and I know the pressure on his back is I got to score so that we win Champions League. I have to score so that we win. I have to score so we can get them to Champions League. But maybe that's too much pressure on Harry Kane as well too. Maybe he should come back to Chelsea, man. Mauricio Pochettino is waiting for him. Come, let us give you a place to stay in London.
But if you look at all those Harry Kane goals, if you do like Mr. Oaks and break down and look into the engine room with those goals there, you'll find you check out how many penalties, check out how many goals against absolutely useless teams, and check out stat padding. So basically, when you're winning 2-3-0, whatever, scoring goals. So
So
as
what's
you
the
say,
point you're trying to make here, sir?
you have to be the big goals, the goals
Exactly.
where you win 1-0 or 2-1
That's
or
it.
whatever.
Exactly,
Winning
my
goals.
brother.
How many of those were winning goals? How many of those really had
Exactly. Any impact? Did you score 2 goals in a game that I'm not saying don't score goals, People's Republic, but did you score 3 goals in a game that doesn't really? You understand? So, and this is a what is it called? This is a conundrum that only Harry Kane can fight. Because like you rightfully said, People's Republic, he has a chance to start pad, and that will make history. He's already at 28 goals now, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody please correct me. He's already at 28 goals now. The season is going to end when? May?
Yes.
When is the season over?
Yeah. Well, so, May, if they can qualify for the Champions League final.
Champions League. There you go. So it's looking like he might hit the 30-plus mark in total goals, which I think is fantastic in a new league.
But there will just be empty calories.
Empty calories, my brother. Empty calories. Thank you. I won't say anything else. That's exactly what I was trying to say, people.
It's just empty. It means nothing. It means you can score 50 goals. But it means they just empty calories. No, you spit like. I love American football. So if you're winning like 28-0 and you score like, if you're a quarterback, you'll throw about 5 touchdowns in the last quarter. It's just showing off.
Yeah, you're just exactly. You're just showing off. You're showing us what you're going to do next season.
But if you look at it, okay, he's the center forward. His job is to score goals, and he's not Jackson who takes part in the build-up play. But you know, to the media, obviously, English media loves him, so they try to make him big, whatever. But he's, you know, you look at the other players who do all the hard work, all the running, all the supply him, all the crosses and what have you. But I don't know, something about that Spurs bad luck, or I don't know, losing.
So you do think that Harry Kane is the reason why Thomas Tuchel is failing in Germany?
No, Thomas
because of Spursy.
No, because of Thomas Tuchel, they're failing in Germany. Not nobody else. It's about his lack of diversity in his tactics. You know, he's playing with the handbrake on. You know, taking the starch out of the player, taking the self-confidence out of the player. That is the problem. It's nothing to do with Harry Kane or Eric Dyer or whatever. No, we can't. That would be very unfair. But it's the manager's not knowing his best 11. Manager not knowing knowing tactics, but just playing very negative anti-football tactics. You know, at some point, you know, if you have an elite team like Bayern Munich is. And those guys know they can do a lot more. They have more talent to do than what the manager wants. Then I think frustration creeps in at some point, and the players start like, really, we just wanted to play the ball sideways, backwards. We have the ability, we have the skill, and we have the tradition. This is Bayern Munich. This is the so-called the standard is here, is up there. The standard is not down here, it's up there. This club has a tradition. We on the front foot. We have the ball. We dominate teams, and teams fight for their lives. But this is what we're doing now here. This is not Bayern Munich standard. It's not living up to the expectations of the club, the tradition of the club. And this is where this is why they're probably fired. Because Bayern Munich has a reputation, they have a standard they like to uphold and keep. And there's no point them becoming like a middle table team mentality and standards. No, but then if you don't, the club goes downhill very, very quickly.
Yeah, but
Can I report something here? The Liverpool game already finished. Van Dijk scored for Liverpool. Cody Gakpo, Diaz, and Elliott. And for Luton Town, they started the goal.
The Barkley score?
No, he had a good game, but he didn't score. And what's his name? The Nigerian.
Oh, Adebayo.
Adebayo. He's injured. So.
Okay.
So yeah, this game is gonna give them a little bit of confidence. I like it, so they can come with some arrogance at Wembley. So we smash them 3-1. Don't worry about it. We're gonna smash them.
Hey, hold on a minute. Have you guys talked about Chelsea versus Man City? You have a strong.
You can go for it if you want to discuss about it.
I talked about it already, but man, that was. I'm sorry that I'm taking over the mic, Ox, but that was a terrible result.
For who?
For Chelsea.
Tell us why. Getting a point against the champions.
No, we cannot have that mentality. I'm so far. We cannot have that mentality, Ox, my brother. We cannot. I almost wish that we were down 1 and tied at the end. That's how bad that game was. Man, you can't be up 1-0. It's exactly what Nigeria did in the AFCON finals, guys. Exactly. We're 1 up and we decided to defend.
But before that, we didn't decide immediately. We created chances. It's the same old broken record, bro. how many clear chances we created. Jackson one-on-one, missed. Sterling missed
Absolutely.
one-on-one. And the first half, we deserve to be 3-0 up, minimum. And when you're leading like that, you have a little bit of cushion. You can afford the second half to make changes or relax a little bit. But City 1-0, still dangerous. So it's not about our mentality, it's about our players not taking chances.
The reality, but the other reality is that some Nigerian witch doctor did some juju on fucking Haaland, because all those chances he was missing. Chelsea should have been hammered 4-0 in that game. That's the reality.
No. Let me tell you what. Oh, Napoli just scored 1-1 against Barcelona.
Who scored for Napoli?
I don't know. Let me double check. I see them just celebrating because I have like 4 screens in front of me. So when I watch the other one, let them celebrate and let's see.
Sure.
Okay, so I forgot even what I was talking about.
We're talking about that game, City-Chelsea.
Okay, so I don't believe on People's Republic narrative there that, okay, he could have scored 4, whatever. Before even he had those chances, we had our chances before that. So the way I see it is he was never going to have those chances if we scored our chances. We scored 3, everybody is discouraged. Nobody is going to put those crosses anymore. That's the way I see it. I might be wrong, though. But, yes, they had chances at the end in the last 15 minutes there when we decided to park the bus and not play football anymore. And we ended up by paying the price, a deflected goal. But we had yes.
You know what's even crazy? Sorry, sorry to interrupt.
Go on.
That goal that Rodri scored, I was saying it the other day, is the same goal that he scored in the first leg.
Yeah, exactly the same. Yeah, deflected goal. He always there. He arrived a little bit late. The right place, the right time. Bam. Yeah.
And that ridiculous celebration, and his ridiculous celebration.
I can't stand that. I can't stand that.
Osimhen, I think Osimhen scored, and the pass came from Zambo Anguissa.
AFCON connection. Nice, from Zambo.
Yeah. Zambo Anguissa. All right. And the ball and the goal for Liverpool, Barcelona.
Is Zambo still on Fulham? Is he at Napoli on loan from Fulham? Is he still doing that?
I think the deal is already permanent because he's been there for like almost three seasons now. Yeah. So I think they had an option to buy him, right? So, yes, so Haaland missed chances, but we also missed chances, bro. So I'm not gonna. Who
scored for Barca? You were better tell us.
Lewandowski. And he hasn't scored for a long time, really. Now it looks like he's.
Lewa has credit in the bank.
But he's old now.
I think he's finished.
Exactly. He's playing golf. I think this thing he's doing at Barcelona is just playing golf. We call it the playing golf part of your career.
Yeah.
Like when Makalele. Exactly. Like when Makalele came to Chelsea, he was playing golf, even though he was the best mid PM in the world.
Okay.
That game, guys, I don't know. That game, we have a lot of work to do, man. We cannot celebrate 1-1 with Man City in that kind of performance. After scoring that fantastic goal, that chance that we converted I thought that was a fantastic chance. That alone, you see the way Pep reacted. That should show you that was a chance for us they were on the ropes. How we didn't take advantage of that, you bring in Kasade with who else? With, what's his name? My brother from Sierra Leone.
Chaloba.
Yeah, Chaloba. Exactly.
He tried to park the bus, but a little bit early. It killed our attacking options. Yeah. The tactics, I don't know. We could have gone for like mid-block instead of low block. We were so low. I was like, do something, coach. Do something. Like, I mean, it was, yeah, and we were lucky at the end to get away with 1 point. But before that, we had the game in hand. The first half, we controlled that game without having the ball, if that makes sense. Like
It does.
we control them very, very well. And then until, I don't know, 70 minutes, the manager decided, oh no, it's time now to close the shop, and we ended up by paying the price. This game here is so boring. Anybody is watching Porto against Arsenal? So boring. Arsenal are getting all the possession as per usual because it's Arsenal, but it's just nothing. They're not doing anything with the ball basically. But hey, you have to zip it because you never know. Arsenal might score the last minute and 1-0 and you eat your word, you know.
Or it could be Porto that is saving their energy for the last minute.
Yeah, it could be.
It could be Porto.
Yeah.
This is the kind of game when they were time about Arsene Wenger, there would be full attack and they end up losing. And, but nowadays, this is a different Arsenal.
What the deal with Osimhen mask? Is he going to wear it for the rest of his career? Because I've never seen anybody with a mask for like 3 years.
No, he didn't wear it. Has it been 3 years? No.
It's been long time, yes. I still remember even before. I think he missed the African Cup of Nations.
Yeah,
the last one.
That's when he started wearing it.
Yeah, that's why he got, I don't know, a punch or something.
On the nose. Yeah,
and
that's
he
true.
started wearing since. I've never seen anything like it. But it was a very, very good goal, though. That is a proper striker goal that he scored.
I think it's doctor's orders. And then some people also have, they have this feeling of don't touch my nose, especially when you've gone through an ordeal with it. So they leave the mask on as a safety measure, but it must be doctor's orders because I'm thinking about Czech and when he wore his head brace, was it doctor's orders or was it his choice?
Yeah.
Okay.
Doctor,
okay.
That is another situation because Czech had to go through a surgery in his head, really.
Yeah.
But this is nose, so I don't understand.
This is exterior.
Every time he scores, he take the mask off and people come and even punch him in the face celebrating. You know what I mean? So I'm like, what is the difference here? When you play with the mask, when you celebrate, everybody come and punch you. You know how it goes, right?
You take off the mask.
Yeah,
a lot of fans in Ivory Coast were wearing that mask supporting him. So I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know why he's still wearing the mask. I have no idea.
I could ask you the same question about what is it with Suarez and Chalobah always wearing the bandages, like even on the wrist. He's been there for years and years. Chalobah, the same thing. What's happening there?
Listen, people have their rituals, man. I remember when I played, my socks is never the same. Like it can never be the same length. Like I had my own. People have rituals. Everybody has their own ritual, whatever their good luck charm is. Some people can't get on the. Sorry.
Repeat that about the socks, please. Repeat that about the socks.
It cannot be both socks cannot be the same length. So one has to be like almost my ankle, almost like grip middle of my shin guard, and the other one will be up to my knee.
Wow.
It has to. Like I cannot get on the field if I don't do that. Like most times ref will stop the game and say socks please, all the time, but that's it, all the time. Ref will stop in the middle of socks please. So everybody has their own ritual. I know people that will not get on the field unless they hop on one leg, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So everybody has its man. Football is a beautiful sport, guys. This is why it's beautiful. Everybody has their own nuance, their own activity. Whatever works for you, man, to get on the field.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Nowadays they make holes in the socks at the back of the leg.
I saw that with my boy Gallagher, who is turning out to be the midfielder of the season for me in the EPL. I don't care.
Yeah, you have.
I don't care.
You can tell the truth, contrary to many people online who have ego. They don't want to admit it.
Oh, come on, man.
They don't want to admit it like people like People's Republic.
Don't mind people. Don't mind people.
Don't throw me under that bus.
Man, anybody who doesn't respect what that kid is bringing is cooking is just you're a complete hater. just hate him. Anybody that sorry,
imagine, sorry. Now imagine the form he is on. If they had sold him to Spurs and he was performing like that,
Oh,
Jesus!
Imagine this boy with Maddison, Madison, Sarr, and the other boy from Brighton. What's his name? The Malian that played in AFCON. Imagine those four in the midfield. What's his name again? Yves Bissouma.
Yes.
Imagine that. No, we're keeping him, man. I don't know if we can keep him past the summer because I know his value has gone up, and these guys want to cash in, goalie and stuff. But I'm hoping he stays, man. The guy put Rodri in his pocket, man. I was looking for Rodri all game. I'm like, where's Rodri, man? Is Rodri playing today?
And how good was Malagusto?
Oh my goodness, fantastic. He was great. My only problem, I said it before, is I didn't find he put pressure on what's his name? Defensively. The Ghanaian boy,
Doku.
Yeah, Doku, yeah. Jeremy Doku. I don't think he put enough pressure on Jeremy Doku.
But Doku is not somebody that you can put a lot of pressure, like approaching him a lot, because he's going to put you on the floor and you're going to be the meme of the world. So he was strategically backing up a little bit in order to know how to counter him. But I think he did well. He did well against Doku.
He could have done better, is what I'm saying. The reason why I think he can make Doku defend is because he's good with the ball. He actually knows how to get away from trouble. He can run with the ball. He can cut. He can weave. What do you call it? What do they call it in boxing? When you weave and bob and you can get into angles and come out and run on. He can do that stuff, and he didn't do enough to force Jeremy Doku to defend. But he had a fantastic game. This is just me being critical. It's almost like saying, how do you put pressure on Alexander-Arnold for Liverpool? You force him to defend.
Let me ask you a tough question.
Yes.
When Mr. Hospital bench, James Reed comes back,
don't
somebody
say
comes
that,
in,
please. That is so.
and somebody
You're
comes
being
and
a
gives
header here. Why are you calling him Mr.
Somebody
Hospital?
gives an offer, 50, 60 million for him. With do you keep or do you sell?
Wow. Personally,
I will keep him.
I'll tell you. Can I answer that question?
Yeah.
Personally, I'll sell, but in the interest of retaining the integrity of that club, he's very important to the history of what we're trying to do. But business knows no history. Business doesn't care. As a matter of fact, I bet you Boli is saying if 60 million comes my way now, this guy can go. You understand? But you need. It's like I always say, when you're moving everything, you're moving from one house to another, and you move and you forget the picture. You forget the family picture on the wall. That's Rhys James. That family picture on the wall. He's just part of the furniture. So we need him to keep the originality of what we're trying to do, which is the Chelsea of yesteryears. However, sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I just think for him personally, all these injuries, there's something at Chelsea. Maybe it's better for him to go to another club and have another way of training or another way of playing or whatever, so that these injuries don't just keep on
Doesn't
coming.
look like Ogs like this discussion. I think you've had a debate.
No, just talk, man. I can't prevent you from talking. I'm just uncomfortable, but it's okay.
The problem is, I know why Ogs is uncomfortable. Ogs supports he's a community center leader. He's the leader of the Cobham community. When you talk about certain players, Ogs will cut off the show very soon.
No. Well, we're gonna cut the show because the game is gonna be over, but it's not because of you expressing yourself. I mean, people are free here to say whatever they want.
Ogs will do what it takes to protect his Cobham.
Okay. I'll ask Mr. Oaks this question. You have to sell one. You have to sell one of the. You have to sell 2 out of these 3 players for FFP: Chalobah, James Rees, and Conor Gallagher. Which 2 are you selling?
God, that's a tough one.
Why it has to be that way? Because we have other options, not necessarily.
No, hang on. It's just a straight question. It's a question. Which one are you keeping?
I will keep Conor Gallagher and Rhys James, and I will sell. We have so many players on loan.
You have to sell two, so you just keep Gallagher yourself, James Reese and Chalobah.
What do you mean?
No, he said you keep.
I'm not gonna choose. If that is the case, I resign.
Excellent question. Excellent answer. Very clever answer as well. I resign. No, you
Put me in the situation like that, I resign.
Ox, man. Ox, I think that's the first start to having a debate with Ox, is to pull him away from that Cobham movie. Ox is a complete Chelsea man. I get it. And he will do whatever it takes to protect what is blue. But Oggs, man,
Yes,
at the end of the day, if you leave Oggs will say, let Billy Gilmore is supposed to be starting for us today. Ask Oggs.
No, that's too much. Not like everybody is gonna make it to the first team. I know that. But
you think so?
Yeah, but some of them make sense to keep them, you know, people like Chris James or Mason Mount back in the day, or Conor Gallagher, you know what I mean? Like, why do we have to always have options? It need to be one or, you know, or the other. Why not both? Stay. And what I can tell you now, online, they would prefer to spend 60 million on Lavia and play 20 minutes for Chelsea and get injured again until the end of the season, if that means it's going to block the way to a Cobham guy or Gallagher out. They don't care about the consequence. They don't care about this guy don't get injured, and we are injured FC. But people would prefer to have Abu Dhabi from Arsenal if that means it's going to block the way to those overrated academy products. That's the way it is. And I don't like that. I don't like discrimination. I think that is just more than, you know, that is not football anymore. Like, why can't we just support football as Chelsea fans? And everybody is a brother, you know? We are all the same.
Yeah, but that's what you said you don't like about Frank Lampard. Frank Lampard used to get people into his team by saying we're brothers.
No, that is another topic. That is another topic. I'm talking about the hate here. I'm not talking about, you know, people need to play every game. No, I know it's only 11 players on the pitch. You are bad. Sit on the bench. But the way they are treated is different. I can tell you, somebody like Moses Caicedo can pass the ball backward, sideways,
and he will be man of the match.
Yeah, 20 times.
Exactly.
It's not a problem. But Gallagher passed the ball one time
oh
backward.
My goodness.
People are gonna make 1,000 compilations videos to show that little thing. Oh, look at him. They're gonna make it sounds big. This is what I'm talking about. These overrated academy English players, look what they are doing. But somebody like Enzo, he can lose the ball 1,000 times. I have the impression that Enzo can miss a penalty and it's going to be, oh, beautiful miss. I've never seen a miss like this before. Oh, my goodness. This miss deserves 3 points. People are going to praise and worship that. You see what I'm saying? So I don't like this kind of treatment. I want them, all of them, to be equal. You are from Cobham, you don't deserve to be there. Get out of here. But if you are from Cobham and you deserve to be there, let treat you just like anybody else.
And how is your boy Mason Mount doing, by the way?
Injured.
He's still injured.
I know you want to push some kind of narrative. What is the point you're trying to make here?
Just asking
because you can't judge him this season that he barely played. You know what I mean? And that is going to be used against him and say, yeah, we were right to selling him and all that. Like, people will wish, I've seen people wishing cancer, wishing ACL injuries, wishing death. Yeah, they call themselves Chelsea fans, but wishing Mason Mount death, cancer, all kind of evil stuff. I'm like, are we talking football here, or are we just to the tribalism thing online? Like, and you understand how human beings are just so rotten, man. Like, how can you say those kind of stuff to another human being? I just don't get it. And this is the kind of that I don't like it, because we are not many of them defending them. So I'm kind of always defend the underdogs. So
you took that role. You took that role.
Yes,
eh?
I took that role. Like, hey, I'm gonna defend them. I know I'm not gonna be popular. I know that People's Republic and Blue Eyes are gonna leave my channel for 5-6 months because they don't like the fact that I'm defending somebody.
Hey, hold on. Why are you throwing me under this bus?
No, I'm just giving an example. But I'm gonna say it anyways.
Listen to me. Let's not get anything twisted about my guy Mason. Mason Mount, I fought for this guy to stay. I did everything. I said, if this boy asked for 300,000, give him 300,000. And people ask me why. I don't care, man. People ask me why. I say I watched this kid grind.
Yeah.
From ground zero to the top of the elevator without much guidance.
Yeah. So Napoli and Barcelona,
Porto,
excuse me,
Porto
1-1.
scored.
Yeah, Porto just scored. Oh my goodness!
Yes, I told you.
1-0. 1-0.
I told you.
Yeah, you said that they are saving energy to push in the last. 1 minute to go. 30 seconds to go. Oh my goodness, Arsenal. Wow. Arsenal Fans TV is going to be tested tonight. Some entertainment coming your way,
At
people.
least I'm going to go buy popcorn soon.
Yeah. Go get it. Get your breakfast of champions. Get
my
everything.
Oh my goodness, Porto has done it for me again. Oh,
93 minutes, people. Like, but it's still time to go, bro.
How many more minutes or seconds left?
It's still like 35 seconds to go.
Okay.
In a regular time, but you know those referees, because of the celebration, they might give 2 more minutes. I don't know. Add-ons on add-ons. So I'm not gonna say anything until the end of this game. Okay.
I need to see the final whistle, man. Please give me the final whistle. That's the most important thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So Osimhen scored a very good goal today. That is
Congrats.
A proper striker goal. To be honest with you, the way
He's
he
not
turned, the way he spun the defender to get that ball was something.
Hold on. He knows how to spin. Oh, okay.
No, to spin the defender, like, you know.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. So he can spin. Oh, okay. I was looking for
you are trolling now because of Nigeria, but yeah. So this is.
But there's no way Osimhen is worth 100 million. No fucking way. He's worth max 50, 60 million.
I tell you how there is a way. It's called his agent and it's called Napoli. Like he's a product. I get it from a product. What do you call it? Product verification standpoint. I hear what you're saying, but in terms of the agency around him and the club around him, it's sales, man. He has no control over that. It's sales. So yes, it's true that he might not be worth 100 million, but don't be surprised if
it's finished. It's finished. 1-0 Porto.
For 90 minutes,
Lord.
There is one club that is 90 minutes away from doing what they do best.
But they're going to beat them at the Emirates.
How?
But let's just celebrate tonight.
How? This is what Porto exactly wants, because you know what's going to happen in the Emirates? They're going to park the bus. They're going to park the bus.
And you don't park the bus against Arsenal. You're going to get tired.
Oh boy. 2 financial services football, 2 banks of 4.
Lord have mercy.
Congratulations to Porto, man. I wonder if my Niger boy played, man. Zaid, even though he was horrible in the AFCON. Zaidu Sanusi. I wonder if he played in this game for Porto. Wow. Congratulations to Porto, man. Thank you for bringing some entertainment to.
Yeah, today is gonna be a good day.
Yeah, fantastic footballing.
Because
footballing
we have
evening.
to watch. Yeah.
We have to watch them go down. Gentlemen, I have to run, but this was great. I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. And up the chair. I don't know, Oggs, I'll join you on the next one.
Yeah, we're gonna be here for the final. We're gonna start early as usual. So be there. Be there.
I'll be there with my breakfast of champions. I'll be there live.
Be there. Thank you so much for
I will.
helping,
No
brother.
problem, my brother. All right, take care, folks.
Take care.
Cheers.
People's Republic. You also need to say goodbye to people. You know that I've been here for a long time. I need to go now and say goodbye and see you probably tomorrow. Let's see what's going to happen.
Cheers, man, and thank you for the fun. As always funny. Always into great entertainment.
Yes, sir. So thank you so much, everybody, for watching. People's Republic, thank you for helping. Everybody, wow, look at Aziz. I'm saying goodbye to people and he's here. Aziz.
Mari, just getting off work, man. Let me say hello to my brother.
Yeah, they just left. Arsenal lost 1-0 against Porto.
Yeah, tonight is going to be good, man. I'm going to You know, I need to... what's this brother? I can't remember his name. That you and him always have like...
We can't hear you. You are breaking. Your microphone is gone.
I said, what's this guy's name?
We can't hear you, bro. You have some issues with your connection. Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
I said, what's this brother that you and him always have this LT argument? Is it Mr. Victor or something?
Yeah, Victor.
I can't remember.
Yeah, Victor Bar.
Yeah.
Yes.
I need to tell that. He's always been saying something there. We need to bring out the best out of the Sassy and Kowi. And for the past 2 games we've done it, or 3 games we've done it, we've seen difference.
Yeah.
They might not be the best, but they help push the attack and the midfield forward. Because I've noticed anytime we have Thiago Silva, the Sassy has to drop back.
Yes.
The fullback has to drop back because Thiago Silva doesn't have the legs no more.
Yes.
And Mr. Victor, I've always been saying we should try it. We should try it. You know, I've always been like, oh, Thiago is the best. I know Thiago is the best defender we have there. Them boys will make mistakes,
but yeah, I got your point. Thiago Silva is one of the problems, but not the problem.
He's not the problem.
The problem was, first of all, the manager. Because look at doing simple things, right? Common sense, simple common sense can solve the problem 50%. You know why? Colwill is playing as a centre back, bro. But when Thiago Silva is there, Colwill is a left back. Right? And Disasi is going to be like the right back. And you will see the space in the midfield is like Gallagher is playing as a false 9. Moises Caicedo is sitting himself in the midfield. You will find bloody Enzo Fernandez as a left winger or something like. But now, by keeping the team compact, defending for each other, when Enzo doesn't have the pace, Gallagher is there to help. Caicedo is there to help. So I think even Thiago Silva, in the current way that we are playing right now, we were going to have some kind of good result. We just need to finish our bloody chances too. You know, so it's not like Thiago Silva is the problem. The problem, the manager is using common sense. After you and me get too mad here for month and month, we've been screaming and demanding this kind of common sense, and he used it for 3 games, and all 3 games we see some positive result.
Yeah.
So,
and remember, I always say something about this team. Why can't you all keep that same consistency? You played a big team, you went toe-to-toe with them. And with me, I always, like when everybody said, oh, Man City will beat us 4-1, 5-1, I came here to your channel, I was like, I don't see it like that.
Yeah.
We're going to go toe-to-toe with them because Pochettino knows how to play a Pep Guardiola team from his days at Tottenham. even his days at Espanyol.
Yeah.
Because he knows that maybe now we should be setting our games to a kind of low block, defensive kind of way,
Well,
and
low
counter
block,
attack.
not too much low
Not
block.
too much, but
I love like the mid block, because the low
the
block,
mid-block, sorry.
we almost pay the price. Look at Haaland chances that he had, because we dropped too low.
No,
But
Pochettino bottled it in. You don't go defensive in 30 minutes to the end of the game. I was expecting him to bring either Madueke in or Mukala Modric in, because so people like Kyle Walker will be forced to not go forward too much. You understand? He will be thinking, oh, because if you use someone like a Modric, Modric is going to be helping Benchua, which Benchua never really had any issue.
Yeah.
We'll be firing more. But it's what it is, man. It's
So
what
I
it is.
have a question for you. Are you confident for Sunday?
She, let me tell you something. I'm always a blue forever, man.
Okay.
The man guys wants. I'm confident.
Liverpool got a lot of injuries, but today.
But they just won 4-1 today. Did you see the game?
Yeah, they made a statement. Yeah, I was watching the game. So yeah, they won 4-1 against Luton Town. So they have a little bit of confidence. We have a little bit of confidence. Let's go for it, man.
Yeah, let's go for it. It's a final.
I think we're gonna win.
Final.
I think we're
We're
gonna
win by the grace of God. God, the sky is blue.
Yeah, let's do it. So, Mr. Alibaba say, "Go, God help us against Liverpool." No, listen, Liverpool got people who pray God too. So God already gave you everything. It's up to you now to go and fight on the pitch. But we're gonna beat them. Don't worry. They don't have Nunes. Salah is still struggling with an injury. But I don't care about even injuries. Even if they were 100%, I was going to be always positive. This time, it's our time. They beat us in 3 finals in the last few years. This time is our time to say goodbye to Mr. Klopp and slap him for the last time at Wembley. So we're winning this game, bro. Don't worry about it. Arsenal for life is crying. The guy came here at the beginning of the show, say we're gonna slap Porto. We're gonna destroy them. That's what you say, right? You say that Porto are going to get destroyed, but at the end you got destroyed and you are crying. Know your place. Be humble. The problem with Arsenal fans is always they win everything at the beginning of the game or the beginning of the season. We're gonna win everything. We're gonna win FA Cup, Europa League, Carabao Cup, all kind of cups. They always win from the beginning, but at the end the elephant always fall off the tree. So be humble, my brother. But listen.
Be humble. Be humble.
But I still believe that Arsenal can beat them at the Emirates. Yeah. I think the
Emirates is gonna be a 1-1 draw.
Listen. Let me just take the dog. I think he's so angry. I have to let.
Okay, sir. Okay. Will you be here tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll be here tomorrow.
Because I'm off tomorrow. Then we can.
Yeah. So we have time.
I don't know if you've not been coming online, or have you been coming online? Or because I've been at work for the past.
No, I haven't been online for a while.
Okay.
I wasn't in town. I wasn't in town. I was somewhere else, so I wasn't in the city. I was in the countryside. But yeah.
Okay.
I'll see you tomorrow, my brother. Thank you so much for helping everybody. Thank you for watching. I will see you back again tomorrow. God bless you, and see you.